free agency is officially here. We're hearing lots of rumors. You guys are going to keep me updated because I'm not going to be able to keep up with my phone. I would appreciate it if you guys don't drop fake rumors. If you do, I'd appreciate it if my mods kick you out of the stream. But I want to have fun. I want to talk about some of the moves that are going around in the league. Obviously, we've already got some news, and I'm going to tell you what. Shaq Barrett signing for 4 years, $72 million, $18 million a year, $36 million guaranteed. And if I'm Dave Gettleman and I'm the New York Giants, and I get it, Shaq Barrett may have taken a discount to go back to the defending champions. He may want to, have another shot at the crown. But if I'm the New York Giants, I'm looking at that contract and I'm saying, Leo, you want 22 and a half? Leo, you want $23 million? Shaq Barrett just got 18. Leo, Shaq Barrett just set your market. Oh, no, we ain't paying you $22 million. No, we ain't paying you $23 million. You're either going to play in the franchise tag or you're going to talk turkey. We ain't folding to his demands. New York Giants don't deal with terrorists. Now, some of the other news that's going around in the league. Kevin Zeitler, the former New York Giant, ended up signing with the Baltimore Ravens 3 years, $22.5 million. That's about $7.5 million a year. New York Giants were set to pay him $14 million before they cut him. They obviously ended up saving $12 million. He signs on for a deal for about $7.5 million a year. So, a lot of Giants fans are going to get bent out of shape. They're going to say, how did you cut the guy? We could have signed him for $7.5 million. We don't know if he was willing to restructure with the New York Giants. You look at the Baltimore Ravens. You're talking about a Super Bowl contender. You're talking about a team that he may have been willing to take that kind of contract to go there. Two, the good news for the New York Giants, in my opinion, Kevin Zeitler, a credible guard, signs on for about $7.5 million, which reaffirms that the New York Giants kind of made the right decision. The market is half of what Kevin Zeitler was going to get paid, and there's a lot of guards out there that the New York Giants may be able to get for a comparable price. So in my opinion, that's good news. Kevin Zeitler set the market. $7 million for a good, solid guard. New York Giants should be able to get a bargain at that position. And I'm going to continue to say we need to be patient. And then, of course, the big news, apparently, Adam Schefter on ESPN, via TV, not Twitter, said that the New York Giants and Kenny Golladay are set to meet today. Doesn't mean he's going to sign here. He's going to have a lot of options, but we'll wait to see how it all plays out. Dart Laker, man, thank you very much, man. He says, what's up, Chris? How much cap do we have right now? It's hard to say because right now we don't know what the Nate Solder restructure is. And until such time that we know that, we're not going to know how much we have. We also don't know what the extension, if it happens, is going to be for Leonard Williams. But what I will say is, if the New York Giants really want to make moves today, they can. They don't have to officially be under the cap until March 17th. So they can make moves today and figure out their cap before March 17th. That's when you have to be underneath the budget. So if they, wanted to sign Golladay, hypothetical, not telling you by any stretch of the imagination this is going to happen, but if they wanted to sign Golladay, they could. And then if things don't work out with Leonard Williams before March 17th, they could rescind the tag and make sure that they sign Kenny Golladay, if that's the route that they wanted to take. So it does not prevent them from going out there and talking to players and getting something set up. So we'll see. Dart Licker, man, thank you so much, man. And Aiden, man, thank you very much, man. Janu Smith overpaid like crazy. Yeah, I think it was $12.5 million for the New England Patriots. Patriots known for having really good tight ends over there. I don't know if they overpaid. He's the best tight end in the market. I mean, you look at last year, the Browns paid whatever they paid for the guy from the Falcons, Austin Hooper. I think it was comparable, might even been more. So I don't know if they overpaid. I think that's the going rate. He's the best player at his position. I think that's about a fair rate. But we'll see. We'll see how the market plays out as it gets going. But I thought he'd get around that, $12, $13 million a year. I thought he'd get around that. We'll see what Corey Davis goes for. Seth, man, thank you very much, man. Did you see the rumors about the Giants being interested in Justin Coleman for the Lions, who was recently? I did not see that, Seth. I did not see that. I'm sure you're going to see a lot of rumors. You're going to see some players that the New York Giants are definitely going to be interested in. I saw that Jordan Renan came out with a laundry list of players that the New York Giants may be interested in. I'm going to continue to say my prediction is the New York Giants are going to let this market play out. They're going to let it set itself, and then they're going to go out there and bring in players. That's not to say that they may not make a move on Kenny Golladay. We'll see how it all plays out today. But if they cannot get a deal done with Kenny Golladay, I think the Giants would be smart to let the market come to them. There's a number of players out there, and the longer you wait, the better deal that you could potentially get. But we'll see how it all plays out, man, as the market develops. And John Letourneau, man, thank you so much. Stand up, the entertainer. You're the man, my friend. You know the Giants stink. Let's talk Phillies and Eagles, my friend. Can I get a ring my bell? Will you ring my bell? The only thing I heard about your Eagles, you guys apparently are actually interested in the backup quarterback I've been talking about for about 3 months, and that's Jacoby Brissett. Now, we'll have to wait and see what his market is. I don't know how you guys are going to have enough money to pay a suitable backup quarterback since you guys, before the offseason started, and you backloaded all your contracts like you do every year, and now you're negative $7 trillion of cap space for next year. You maybe have a little bit of money that you can pay a backup quarterback. We'll have to wait and see. I'm going to tell you what, if Jacoby Brissett signs on with your Eagles, very well can win that starting quarterback job. PJ, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Nothing better than getting out of school at 1 and seeing you go live at 105. If we get Golladay, do we still go wide receiver at 11? And if who do we go with? That's a great question, and that's a question I'm not going to be able to answer for you, but would I? No, I would not. If you invest $20 million, well, we got to see what the contract is, but if you invest a lump sum in Kenny Golladay, it is, as I said on the stream the other day, I'm not telling you I wouldn't draft a wide receiver, but there's other needs on this team. If you sign Kenny Golladay for the amount of money that I think it's going to cost, it is his job to make the other wide receivers on this team better. I think Sterling Shepard is more than equipped to be a good slot wide receiver, and I personally think Darius Slayton could get it done as the number 2. I think a lot of people forget that last year Darius Slayton was going up against number 1 coverage all year. All of a sudden, you put him to the number 2 side. You got Golladay on the other side. He should perform better. Not to mention you'd be getting Saquon Barkley back in this offense. So me, if we sign Golladay, personally, I'd be looking at a guy like Parsons. I'd be looking at a guy like Surtain or Farley, or I'd be looking to buff up that offensive line with a guy like Rashawn Slater if he was there. But that's just me. Is it possible we could double up a wide receiver? Sure, we could. If they're in love with Jalen Waddle, if they're in love with Jamar Chase, if he ever fell, I don't think he would. If they're in love with Devontae Smith, sure, they could. I wouldn't rule it out. If he's the best player on their board, they definitely could. But PJ, man, thank you very much, man. I really appreciate it, my man. And I want to make sure I catch up with everybody. Q-Dog, my man, what's going on, Q-Dog? He says, Golladay can be Daniel Jones's plaques. Interesting. Yeah, I think a lot of Giants fans have made that comparison, and I think it's a good one. Plax was like 6'5", 6'6", whatever he was. Obviously, Galladay's 6'4". Both of them were kind of fringe top 10 wide receivers before, if he were to come here, came to the New York Giants. Plax came in here and was a huge boost for Daniel Jones in his growth as a New York Giant. So, yeah, for Eli Manning, rather, as a New York Giant. So I could see that comparison. I also think Golladay fits this scheme well. The Eric Coryell offense, I think he would fit the scheme well. I think it's kind of what a lot of Giants fans want, is a tall threat on the outside, but we'll see if we end up getting him, and we'll see what his price is, and if other teams are in for his services. I have heard that the Dolphins are very intrigued by him. German, man, thank you very much. Rappaport saying Golladay will go for $14 to $16 million. If that is the truth, German brothers, I'm going to tell you what, I'm aboard. I'm all aboard. And again, you cannot get mad at the Giants if Golladay does not sign here. If the New York Giants make a concerted effort to try to sign Golladay and he ultimately chooses another destination, you can't get mad at the Giants. That's Galladay's freedom of choice. It's much like last year when a lot of people got pissed off about Corey Littleton. Corey Littleton didn't want to be a New York Giant. He wanted to be on the West Coast. But if you could get Golladay between $14 and $16 million, I'm all in. I'm all in. I'm all in. But we'll see how it plays out, man. We'll see how the free agency market plays out, my man. And yeah, Knicks versus Nets, I'll be doing that game tonight. I'm sure there'll be more free agency buzz during the stream, which we'll talk about. Obviously, I'm going to have to do the play-by-play, but we'll talk about it a lot before the game, halftime, so on and so forth. Yuri, man, thank you very much, man. He says, I know this is not fantasy and won't happen. We trade Leo with Ingram for Josh Allen, the edge rusher, and a second or a third. Jaguars want to run stuffer. Yeah, it's fantasy. I mean, I'd be ecstatic with that. You know how I feel about Josh Allen if you saw my draft reaction. He got hurt last year. He only played 2 games. But he's definitely a guy that I really liked. Loved his work ethic coming out of college, coming out of Kentucky. I'd be ecstatic if something like that happened, but it's fantasy. That will not happen, but it's cool to think about, I guess. Tyard, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, Kevin Zeitler, 3 years, $22 million, should have kept him. Yeah, here's the thing, Tyard, and I know fans are gonna flip out about him. Roldy's probably one of them, and I love Roldy. Sure, if we could have got him for that contract, we should have kept him. But again, we don't know if we could have got him for that contract. We don't know if the New York Giants did not approach him and say, hey, Kevin, would you be willing to sign for this deal? I fully believe if Kevin Zeitler would have signed that deal with the New York Giants, I think he still would have been here. I fully believe that. You got to take into account that the Baltimore Ravens are competing for a Super Bowl. And Kevin Zeitler may have felt the pressure when he saw all these guards hitting the market to say, all right, at least let me sign on, get my $16 million guaranteed before the market opens up, and then I'm rushing to the dinner table, and I may not even get this. And let me at least sign on with a team that can compete and win a Super Bowl. So sure, if he was willing to sign in for 3 years, $22 million, I think the Giants would have done it. But we don't know if the New York Giants approached him or they didn't, and we'll never know. But what I will say is I think him signing for that price sets the market at the guard position. And I think the New York Giants will be able to find a solid guard in free agency if they choose to go that route for a similar price. And there's a lot of guards out there that the New York Giants could bring in. Like I've said when we cut Zeitler, let's wait. Let's see the plan develop. Let's see what the New York Giants decide to do in free agency, and let's see what they decide to do in the draft. And then let's judge this offseason. Let's see the team that we build with the limited cap space, with the situation and everything else. Let's see the team that we build with the limited resources that we have. But sure, for that contract, yeah, they should have brought him back. Doesn't mean he was willing to do it with the New York Giants. But thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. And Roldy, man, thank you very much. He says, Christopher, what's up, buddy? Are we getting this money to sign Golladay? Most of our money is tied to Williams at this point. I'm not expecting us to do anything big. Williams got Dave Gettleman by the balls. He does, and he doesn't. He does, and he doesn's. Because we kind of got him by the balls, too, because we got him on the franchise tag, and Gettleman could call his bluff, and he could say, listen, you want to play hardball? Here's the other thing, Roldy. If the market gets set, and you saw what Shaq Barrett signed for. Shaq Barrett signed for $18 million a year, 4-year contract. So if Dave Gettleman feels that if he lets Leonard Williams, if he rescinds the tag by March 17th, and he sees all these other guys going off the board and other teams spending their cap space, if he rescinds the tag and calls Leonard Williams bluff and lets him at the open market on March 17th, we could then use that money to sign a guy like Kenny Golladay or sign other free agents. And then you could go back to Leonard Williams when he gets to test the market and try to get a deal done similar to what Shaq Barrett got. Shaq Barrett, in my opinion, he took a discount to stay with a team that could win a Super Bowl. I think that's about what Leonard Williams' market should be. 4 years, $18 million a year, maybe 4 years, 19 tops. But he's supposedly looking for $22, $23 million a year. I think because Barrett signed that, may have lowered his market a little bit, may have hurt his negotiating power. But we'll see. But I do think the New York Giants have some options. Now, they could agree to terms with Golladay today. Like I said at the top of the stream, doesn't mean they got to be under the cap today. It means they got to be under the cap by March 17th when the official league year starts. And then they could sign him that way. And by then, you could get an extension done with Leo. You could rescind the tag. There's a lot of things that they could do to try to get him to work with the New York Giants. But Rolly, man, thank you very much, man. I really appreciate it. Bear, man, thank you so much, man. Thanks for popping in. In the draft, would you favor players who played that year rather than players who sat out? I mean, of course, in a perfect world, if I was thought equally about two different prospects, I'd probably favor the prospect that played. He developed more. He had another year under his belt. He proved he could stay healthy for another year. Yeah, of course. But a guy like Jamar Chase, is it going to scare me? No. Jamar Chase, to me, is still the best wide receiver in this draft. It depends on the prospect. But if I feel equal about two players, sure. I'd probably favor the guy that played this year for the obvious reason. So, yeah, Bear. And, another thing I want to talk about the draft with the New York Giants, and I've talked about it a lot, as much of a disadvantage the Giants are at and every other team around the league, because a lot of players sat out last year. You don't have game tape. It wasn't a normal, college football season. In a way, I think the Giants have an advantage over a lot of teams that are, in the draft, because look at our coaching staff. They're pretty much all from the college ranks. They've coached these guys. They've coached against these guys. They've recruited these guys. We have a very young staff. We have a staff that is very familiar with the prospects coming into this year's draft. So even if these players sat out, they probably know them fairly well. So I think in a way, the New York Giants coaching staff has an advantage over a lot of teams in the league. But thank you very much, man. I appreciate it, my man. And thank you to everybody for being here, man. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the stream. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the first day of NFL free agency. I'm sure we're going to get news as the stream develops. Ada, man, thank you very much, man. Packers interested in Golladay, $15 million and contend. Here's what I'm going to say about your Packers, Aiden. And maybe you disagree with me. I don't know. I didn't get a chance to talk to you about it. How in the world do you justify whatever? You signed Aaron Jones, $12 million a year, 4-year deal. But how in the world, if you knew you were going to sign Aaron Jones, did you draft a running back in the second round the year before? To me, when you draft a running back in the second round, that's a guy that you're supposed to take advantage of on the rookie contract that is going to ultimately replace Aaron Jones. And then you use that money to help out your quarterback in other ways by signing wide receivers, by helping out the defense. You guys can't stop the run. I was shocked that you guys brought back Aaron Jones. I thought it was a bad decision by the Green Bay Packers, unless they don't feel A.J. Dillon is the running back of the future of that team. But if you didn't feel that way, why did you draft him in the second round? So I don't know. I don't know what they're doing in Green Bay. But thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. And John, man, thank you very much, man. Chris, when Tate was released from Detroit with high expectations, can we assume that can happen with Golladay as well coming from the Lions? To me, they're two completely different receivers. But, of course, you could always strike out in free agency. You could always miss in free agency. It's always a gamble. Like license plate guy said when he was on my stream, you pay B-level prices for A-level production. And you know that when you sign a guy. That's the way it works in free agency, guys, when you're bringing in an outsider. It is few and far between that the top of the top of the top hit the open market. Usually those teams try to retain those players. So you're usually paying for a B player at A-level production. You know you're overpaying when you bring players in. We did it with Plaxico Burress. Plaxico Burress, when we signed him, was a B-level talent. Ended up working out. It's a gamble. There's no doubt about it. Golladay could definitely fall off. But him and Tate, to me, are two completely different scenarios. They're two completely different receivers. I think Golladay fits the scheme better. Obviously, you worry about last year's injury, but I think Galladay's a much better fit for the Giants than Golden Tate was. Golden Tate, however, I think was actually a pretty good fit for Pat Shurmur's offense, which is why I thought that we initially brought him in. And he actually, people forget this because they just think about last year. Golden Tate actually played well for the Giants the year before. Of course, he had the 4-year suspension, but I think he played 11 or 12 games. He had about 700 yards and 6 touchdowns. He actually had arguably his best year of his career had he played a full 16 games. He fit the scheme very well, doesn't fit the current scheme, and he's up there in age. But I don't think they're very comparable. But, of course, you always take a risk when you sign a guy in free agency for big money. And Duran, man, thank you very much, man. Leo needs to look at Shaq Barrett's contract extension and lower his expectations. I agree with you. And like I said, I personally think Shaq Barrett's market is probably higher than that. He took a discount to try to win. But you know what? As Giants fans, here's the other thing I'm going to say. How does Dave Gettleman and the New York Giants and Joe Judge, because I think we all agree with this, that was the mantra last year. That's all I heard. Joe Judge is equally responsible for these moves as Gettleman. They work collaboratively. That's what a lot of people said when the good moves came in. So you got to say that when the bad moves come in as well. They work collaboratively. So how does Joe Judge and Dave Gettleman justify to the New York Giants fans, if they do this and pay him $22 million a year, how do you justify that to Giants fans when you saw Shaq Barrett just sign for $18 million, a guy that led the league in sacks 2 years ago and a guy that was still a very good player for the Bucs this year? They just used him in a different type of way. I know it was a hometown discount, but it is hard to justify to Giants fans paying $22 million a year. I think that personally hurt Leonard Williams' bargaining power, but we'll see how the market plays out as it goes along. But thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. And Damaged Goods, man, thank you very much. According to Wikipedia, Kenny is part of the New York Giants. That's bullshit. That can't be real. And if it is, that's probably a Giants fan that went in there and changed his Wikipedia page. Until such time I hear it from a credible source. I hear it from Adam Schefter. I hear it from Ian Rappaport. I hear it from one of those guys. Hold on. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see what happens. But yeah, I'd be excited if we end up with Kenny Golladay. But thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Roldy, man, thank you very much. I meant to say, where are we getting this money? Well, to have enough money to sign a guy like Golladay? Well, it starts with the Nate Solder restructure. We don't know the figures to that yet, Roldy. Say you get him down to $9 million instead of the 16.5. It's very possible. Now you're talking a savings of $7 million. That goes on to what we had, which was about $4 million. So now you're at $11 million. There's small cuts we can make that could probably get us up to $15 million. Then you can make some extensions, restructures, and of course, the contract extension to Leonard Williams. You structure in a way like all these other teams have, if they are able to work this out, and you pay him $5 or $6 or $7 million in the first year with all the guaranteed money, that frees up another $12 or $13 million. Or you could rescind the tag, and that saves up 19. If it doesn't work out. There's ways, if the New York Giants want to go out there and get Kenny Golladay, that they can make it work. The question is, do they feel that is the best usage of their money to fill out this roster? But it's possible. I don't even know if I'd call it probable at this point, but it's possible. There's things they could do to make it work if they want to bring in Kenny Golladay. I think the major question is not so much, do the New York Giants want Kenny Golladay? I think it's apparent we want Kenny Golladay. If you believe what Jordan Renan said midseason last year, the New York Giants inquired about Kenny Golladay. He's a guy that fits the scheme very well. So I think it's more, does Kenny Golladay want the New York Giants? And there's going to be other teams out there that are bidding for his services. But if he wants the Giants, I think it's very possible he's a New York Giant. But we'll see. But Roldy, man, thank you very much, man. And Nate, man, thank you very much. He says, we just got to admit it. Zeitler didn't want to be here anymore. Let's move on and get the beast from Detroit. Please, fans, move on from whining about cut players. Nate, I'm with you. That's my honest opinion. And I'm not talking about the fans. I'm talking about Zeitler. If Zeitler was willing to come back here for that contract he signed with the Ravens, he'd be here. He didn't want to be here for that restructured contract. You're telling me the New York Giants wouldn't have wanted stability for $7 million a year and basically a 2-year, $8 million contract per year deal? It's only $16 million guaranteed, so you pay him $16 million in the first 2 years, and you could cut him? New York Giants would have signed up for that in a second. They wouldn't have to sign another guard. They could have cut him after 2 years. I don't think that he was willing to come back here on that deal. Maybe I'm wrong, but we're never going to know. It's speculation. But I think he also panicked and saw the market at the guard position with all these guys getting cut, Trey Turner, everybody else. Obviously, got Tooney in there as well. And he said to himself, let me sign now. That way I could at least pick my team that I go to, and I'm not going to get much more money than this anyway. I think that's what ultimately happened. And he ended up going to a competitor. So as Giants fans, it is what it is, man. It was a cap casualty. It sucks. I wanted him back in an ideal world under a restructure, but it doesn't always work out. It's unfortunate. Like Joe Judge said, it's not always fantasy football. I would love to get Trey. We'll see, McLovin, man. Thanks so much for being here, buddy. Golladay, Reddick, vet, cornerback. We'll see. Mike, if we do that, man, I'd be excited. I don't know what the market's going to be for Reddick. Obviously there was a who just signed? The guy from Okwara just signed from Detroit. I actually thought that was an overpay. And I actually think Detroit, if I'm being honest with you, Michael, I think Detroit's done a horrible job so far. I think they've done a horrible job so far. They signed, and that's why they're the Detroit Lions. It's why they never get out of the basement. They signed Tyrell Williams before the market set for about, I think it was like $6 or $7 million on a 1-year deal. Had they waited, he would have been much cheaper than that. Or you could have found a comparable receiver for much cheaper than that. And then they go out there and sign Okwara for $13 million a year. I think Detroit's done a horrible job so far in free agency. I don't think they've judged the market well at all. But as Giants fans, we need more teams like that to judge this market the wrong way, and it'll give us a better opportunity to get bargains as it continues. But I don't think that there was any way that Okwara was going to get that kind of money from another team. I could be wrong, but I $13 million a year, that's a lot. Thoughts on the Taysom Hill contract? All right, to my understanding, as far as the Taysom Hill contract goes, Danny, and don't quote me on this, but I'm almost positive that it has all those voidable years, so they could get out of it after 1 year. So I know it was like a ridiculous 6-year contract, but in essence, they did it to clear cap space this year. They're going to void the other years, and I think it's just a 1-year contract. It seems like it was a loophole and a smart way for the Saints to be able to clear up cap space. To be able to, get under the budget this year. That's what it sounded like to me. I didn't really dive into the details, but that's what I heard. I'm not a Saints fan, but that's what I heard. It's not really what the figures say. It has all those voidable years. They're going to probably stop paying him after 1 year. Let's see what we got here. They fixed the wiki. I mean, I knew they would. Ian Rapport, yeah, we heard that earlier, Ayante, man. And we'll see, man. Did I get the super chats, Nick? I think I did. Did I miss one? Oh, no, I didn't. Aiden says, Matt, I don't care. I'm good with the best backfield. I hear you, my man. And Kel Alarm says, I think it's going to be Kenny or nobody today. For some reason, I didn't see it on my thing. I got to pay more attention to the phone. So there you go. So I hope I didn't miss anybody else. But thank you guys so much, man, for all the incredible generosity. Thank you guys for being the best supporters on YouTube. And I agree with you, Kel Alarm. I mean, in terms of notoriety, I agree with you. Unless we re-signed Alvin Tomlinson, that's possible. But unless we re-sign Dalvin Tomlinson, I agree with you. I don't think there's going to be a huge signing by the Giants. I think it'll be Golladay or it'll be nobody. I think that they're going to be smart. They're going to hold out, and they're going to let this market set itself. And I think that's the right approach. Roldy, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Chris, don't do that. You can't say we will never know when you were saying Zeitler didn't want to be. How do you do that? By the way, I'm speculating. I'm not telling you definitively he didn't want to be. But what I'm telling you is, let's put it this way, Roldy. I think it's more likely. Like, put yourself in Zeitler's shoes. Let's not think as New York Giants fans. Put yourself in Zeitler's shoes. Would you rather play for the Baltimore Ravens? Let's not think as Giants fans. A team that is on the cusp of potentially winning a Super Bowl in a division you're very familiar with. He's played for the Browns. I think he played for the Bengals as well. Or would you rather come back with the New York Giants for the same amount of money? You also got to factor in Zeitler never chose this destination. We traded for Zeitler. So we don't even know how much he wanted to be a New York Giant. So You're right. I'm speculating, just like a lot of people may speculate that the New York Giants didn't offer him a contract. But my guess would be that for the equal money, he'd rather go to a better football team. That's just my guess. And also, I think he was trying to sign the deal before the market got set because he knew that the market was going to probably be lower than a lot of people may think. Aiden, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Aaron Jones is irreplaceable in our offense. Hey, you're a Packer fan more than me. You watch the games, even though I love Aaron Rodgers. You know that. I was surprised by the signing. That's what I'll say. And if you're completely on board with the Aaron Jones signing, which I understand, well, then I think you probably got to agree that you probably shouldn't have picked A.J. Dillon in the second round last year. So one way or the other. But, yeah, I personally thought you would have used the cap money differently. But he's great for you guys. Obviously, he's one of the better running backs in the league. Brandon, man, thank you very much, man. Dream scenario is sign Golladay and draft Pitts and go edge or cornerback 2 in the second round. Offense needs to be priority right now, in my opinion. Hey, if they do that, no excuses. No excuses for Garrett. No excuses for Jones. No excuses for Barkley. If you spend the first round pick on a weapon and you tie that much cap space into a wide receiver, no excuses whatsoever. If they do that, am I going to cry? No, not at all. I recognize we need weapons, but we also have other holes in this team. Kevin Zeitler, we definitely need to bulk up that offensive line as well on the offensive end, and we have other holes on the defense. But if they do that, and maybe we sign a guard, yeah, there's a lot of options that the New York Giants could take. I won't be upset if they end up doing that. I still say that I think Pitts is going to be off the board. I don't think Pitts will be there when we pick, but that's just guessing. I don't have insider information. I think Pitts will be gone when we pick, though. And Charles, man, thank you so much, man. Stand up, new member. Welcome to the channel, my man. Thank you for the support, my man. Let's see. And V-Man says, hey, Chris, rank all 9 New York sports teams based on this chart. Title contender, playoff, trending up, uncertain, trending down, bad, joke. Okay, I don't know enough about hockey. So I know the Islanders are doing very well. I know that they're the number 1 seed right now in the NHL, so they'd be near the top for me. But I don't know enough about hockey. I know the Rangers are underperforming a lot. I'll just rank the 3 sports that I know pretty well. In terms of the least possibility of winning a championship right now, I'd have to say the New York Jets. The New York Jets are picking second in this year's draft. They almost went winless this year. They're probably going to have a rookie quarterback. You don't know what you have with Robert Saleh. So I'd have to have them last. Now I'll go back to the top. The top, you probably got to go the Yankees and Nets probably at the top. I think the Nets are obviously competitors right now for at least the Eastern Conference Finals. So I would say the Yankees and Nets are your top 2. And after that, I'd probably have the Mets 3. I think the Mets actually have a very good roster. They're not on the level of those 2 teams. And then maybe the Giants and or Knicks. They're like dead even for me. It depends what the Giants do this offseason. But I think the Giants and Knicks, like I always say, are in a very similar timeline. I think they're both building properly, but they're kind of in that same period right now where you have to be patient and you have to let them continue to build with the young talent. I'd probably put the Knicks slightly above them just because they're over 500 right now and they've shown more growth than I anticipated. The Giants kind of met the growth that I anticipated, but I think they're fairly comparable. But I'd have the Jets far and away as the bottom team. But thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. And Roldy, man, thank you very much, man. Oh, come on, Chris. Zeitler would have never been in that situation. I would restructure his contract. By the way, Dave Gettleman, I know he released him, but I'm gonna tell you what, Okora is not worth that contract that he just got paid, and he's replaced. So he's replaceable in my opinion. I don't think he's nearly as good as that contract dictates, and we'll never know, Roldy. That's just assuming. You don't know that. We could have very well went to Zeitler and tried to do a restructure. We might not have, and we'll never know that. Marco, man, thank you so much. Can someone explain the Brady contract to me? Okay, again, I didn't look deep into that, but from what I understand, I think it has voidable years. And basically, to sum it up, what Brady did was he gave them a hometown discount to be able to maneuver the cap, to be able to retain all these players to go after another Super Bowl. And my guess is what happened, and it's why you saw it with Shaq Barrett. It's why you saw it with a number of players on that Tampa Bay Bucs team. They bought in. They saw their leader, Tom Brady, do something like that to help out the team, and they said, we won a Super Bowl last year. We want to come back. We want to get this thing done. And that's why you saw Barrett. When you're winning, players are willing to take discounts to stay. We got to get to that point first. But from what I understand, don't look at just the money in the years. It's structured in a way that is favorable for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And that's what Brady's done his entire career. Kelly, man, thank you so much, man. Got a weird feeling Golladay will end up in New York. I think it's possible. I definitely think it's possible. I'm still not going to say probable. I don't want to get people's hopes up. I don't want to go crazy. but I think it's possible. I'll say that. A pimp named Slickback says Leo doesn't deserve more than Barrett, in my opinion. I agree with you. And Aiden says Packers are betting favorites for Corey Davis. Not a bad fit for you guys. And you got to figure Corey Davis with Aaron Rodgers would be great. It'd be a great weapon for you guys to have. You definitely need another punch at the wide receiver position. Yeah, that's actually a perfect fit. You know, I know a lot of Giants fans have talked about Corey Davis to the Giants. I view Davis more as a 2. Obviously, you've already got your 1 there with Devontae Adams. You get another threat on the outside with Aaron Rodgers. If you're able to get him, that's a perfect fit. I actually love that fit for the Packers. Michael, man, thank you very much, man. I want Golladay, Reddick, Dalvin, vet cornerback over keeping Leonard Williams on the tag and not restructuring anybody. Extend Bradbury, start contending, have continuity into 2022. If they're able to do that, man, I'll be ecstatic. I don't know what the market's going to be for Reddick, you know, because I saw what the Lions just gave Okwara. I would think Reddick would win something comparable, $13, $14 million a year on a 4-year deal. So we'll see with that. I don't know if all that would be in the budget, but if we let Leo go, I would think that Dalvin would be back. You know, I've consistently said last year, this year, I think it's going to be one or the other. I don't think they're going to be able to keep both. So if they ever did rescind the tag, I would expect Dalvin to be back. In the end, I still think they're going to get a deal done, but I don't think it's going to be on the tag. I think it'll be an extension. But if it's not, like I've said, they could rescind the tag or they could potentially trade him. It's not a foregone conclusion that Leonard Williams is going to be back with the New York Giants. But I still think the tag was the right decision because it gives you the ability to negotiate with him. And the other thing that it does, Michael, is if you hold that tag for another week or two, it makes it so other teams spend money, and then you let them in, and then you could potentially rescind it. And then there's not as many teams out being able to drive up his price. So I still think it was the right decision to tag him. It doesn't mean he's playing on a 19.3. It just gives us a little bit more bargaining power. AZ Bills fan, thank you very much, man. What if the Bills trade Levi Wallace, our 2nd-round pick, and a 4th-round pick for Barkley and a 6th-round pick? How would you feel about that trade? I personally am not trading Saquon Barkley. A lot of people bring that up. Unless I get blown away, and that deal does not blow me away, I'm not trading Saquon Barkley. I'm going to give him another year. I'm going to hope that he bowls out, and then it gives me the option to trade him for more, a lot more than what he's worth right now, or extend him. But I say this all the time. I am never in favor of trading players at their bottom value. And right now, he's at his bottom value. He's coming off an injury. He's never been given the proper supporting cast with an offensive line. If you give him an offensive line this year, and again, I'm not advocating to trade him, but if my plan was to trade him, I'd hope that the offensive line is better than it was his first 2 years here. I'd hope he'd stay healthy. I'd hope with the grasp of the offense from the players on this team, it flows better, and Saquon Barkley bowls out, and then he would up his trade value. So I just don't think this is the right time to trade Saquon Barkley. Yeah, I'm not saying that I would be against it under the right circumstances, but I don't think it's the right time to trade Saquon Barkley. I don't think you get near what he's worth. But thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. My man, Prison Mike, he says 6 quarterbacks are going in the first round. Trevor Lawrence, Wilson, Jones, Lance. It's possible. He's been moving up a lot. And I'm not a big fan of Trask, but it's possible. Mac Jones has been moving up a lot as well. I would say at least 5 quarterbacks, probably. I mean, there's a lot of quarterback-needy teams. I mean, you look at the teams in the top 10, there's at least 4 that could use a quarterback. If not 5, I don't think 5 will go, but there's a lot of quarterback-needy teams. The 49ers, potentially. There's been rumors they want to move on from Garoppolo. The Patriots don't have the long-term answer unless they feel like Stidham is it. The Saints, do they really have a long-term answer? We'll see what they do with Jameis Winston. There's a lot of teams. The Steelers, I mean, Ben's on his way out. There's a lot of teams that could use a quarterback. So I'm going to agree with you. I think at least 5 will go in the first round. And Pete, man, thank you very much, man. How the hell did Shaq Barrett only take $18 million for 4 years? What the hell? Simple. Winning cures all, my man. When you're winning, you instill a culture. Players buy in. They won a Super Bowl. Shaq Barrett put the team above himself. He could have got more. There's no denying it. Shaq Barrett could have got at least $20 or $21 million on a 5-year deal. Shaq Barrett said, the Bucs are a great team. I got a great leader in Tom Brady. Tom Brady probably rubbed off on him, and he probably said, yeah, I'm willing to do this. I'm willing to do what's best for this team, and I want to go out there, and I'll take a few $1 million less to go out there and have a shot at another Super Bowl. That's my guess. I think that's what happened because he could have got more money had he hit the open market. And the Hub, man, thank you very much, man. Trade Leo, trade Ingram, sold a restructure, gives us $11 million. You better do this real fast. Hub. Real fast. Because I saw, and yeah, in an ideal world, that's great. Are you going to be able to trade Ingram in the next 2 days? I saw, I think it was Diggy said that too. Are you going to be able to trade Ingram within the next 2 days? I don't think so. Maybe. I doubt it. Van Noy for $7 million. I would love Van Noy. We'll see if that's his price tag, but I would love Van Noy for that money, $6-7 million. I think he fits the scheme very well. And Waddle, that would be a good option. If you're able to do that, home run. I don't think you're going to be able to trade Ingram before the next 2 days, maybe before the season starts, but not within the next 2 days. I'd be very surprised. And Ian, man, thank you very much, man. If we sign Golladay, we draft Waddle / Slater or trade down for Bateman in the first round, then offensive tackle / offensive guard or edge in the second round. Third round, we go cornerback or interior linebacker. If we sign Golladay, we draft. Yeah, I'd be completely on board with that. I'm a Slater. We don't know if Slater's going to be there. If we sign Golladay, that's kind of where my head would be, Slater. But of course, you guys know I love Waddle, and he's a completely different type of receiver than that of a Golladay. So he would fit with Golladay. I actually think Waddle's a much better fit with Golladay than Pitts is. I think Pitts and Golladay are kind of similar. Tall red zone threats. I think that Waddle's the type of guy that can take the top off the defense. So if you were going to double up, I actually think Waddle's a better fit if you end up signing a guy like Kenny Golladay. Of course, it depends on who you sign. But yeah, I'm not ruling it out. It's definitely a possibility that they could double up if they do end up signing Golladay. Greg, man, thank you very much, man. I heard the Giants are interested in Hassan Reddick. I heard that too. That's kind of been talked about for a while now. I've heard that too. We'll see. I think his price is going to be pretty hefty, though, after seeing what Aquara got. But we'll see, my man. Definitely could be a good fit. He fits the scheme very well. A Pimp, thank you very much, man. I know a lot of fans want 2 stud wide receivers, but I'd be fine with Golladay. And then take best available player at 11. To me, Slayton is a wide receiver 2 next to an elite wide receiver, and Shepard is more than a capable wide receiver 3. I agree with you. I think that's good enough. If you get Golladay and you get Barkley back, but if the Giants feel that Waddle's the best player available, you take him. But I think what I've said all along, what Golladay does for you is it gives you the ability to take the best player on your board. At that point, you're not just drafting for need. You can now take the best player on your board. If you feel Micah Parsons is the best player, you take him. If you feel Rashawn Slater is the best player, you take him. Patrick Surtain, you take him. If you feel Waddle's the best player, you take him. But I think it gives you the ability to take best available player. But thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Michael, man, thank you very much. He says, Brooklyn Nets are number 1 in New York by a mile. We're winning that title. If Sean Marks knew football, I'd pay him myself to replace Getty on G-Man. He's owning the NBA. The Nets are killing it. I only say the Yankees because of the pedigree, and they're also a very competitive baseball team. But, yeah, I think the Nets and Yankees are like neck and neck. The Nets probably have a better chance to win a title this year, though. I probably agree with you on that. I think they're right now they might be the favorite, but that's until we see if the Lakers get healthy. And if the Lakers get healthy, that may change. Looking forward to calling the game tonight. I'm nervous. Your Nets are really good. They've been playing really good, but hopefully they should give them a fight. Mike, man, thank you very much, my man. And X-Man, thank you very much, man. 3 years, $20 million for Leonard Williams. No pull the tag. Sign $20 million per for Leonard Williams. No pull the tag. Sign Dalvin Tomlinson, Golladay, Hassan. You're not getting Leonard Williams for, if you mean $7 million a year, that's not happening. But that would be a dream. I personally don't think that that's very likely. He says no more wrenches. I've been very strict with the wrenches because I've had a lot of issues with the wrenches. I've given the wrenches out, and then I get people blocked. I give the wrenches out, I get people blocked. So I think I had 600 people blocked, and then I got rid of the wrenches, and I've started to give them back very slowly. But I want to make sure I didn't miss any super chats on my phone because it skips so much. But thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. I got Michael. I just got X-Man. All right, let's get to a pimp. There he is right there. Golladay, Saquon, Slayton, Shepard, and a few smaller pieces with a solid line to me can be a good enough offense around Daniel Jones. It comes down to the offensive line, And I said it with Bad Dog the other night. Like, you could have the best weapons in the world. You saw it with the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. They got better weapons than anybody. They couldn't move because the offensive line couldn't block. We saw it when we had the best weapons. I mean, we had Saquon Barkley and Odell Beckham together. The offense couldn't do anything. So you got to be able to block. The offensive line still needs to be able to operate, and hopefully they can mature and get better this year. Rudy, man, thank you very much, man. I don't see Gettleman and Judge paying for Golladay. Philosophically, they like to find diamonds in the rough. Watch them sign a top-tier offensive lineman instead. It's possible. Listen, and thank you for being here, Rudy, man. I appreciate it. It's very possible they could be in the market for a guard. We'll see. Tooney, people have talked about him. Giants will have some options, and it's going to be interesting to see how they choose to fill out this roster. I don't think many Giant fans will be upset if we sign Golladay, though, being that it's such a big need. And it gives Daniel Jones that target that he so desperately needs. I personally, if they were to do that, my belief would be to go somewhere else other than wide receiver in the first round. Pete, man, thank you very much, man. Okay, here's a question for you. Barrett's contract will affect Leo's bargaining power, but there's no way he's taking 18. How low do you think we could drive Leo's contract based on Barrett's new deal? I agree. He probably is not going to take 18 because he's getting 19.3 anyway. We got to be realistic as fans, and we also got to realize that Barrett took a hometown discount. But I do think it takes away the absurd demands. Now that the market is setting itself, I think it takes away the absurd demands. I don't think he's getting 22, 23, and if he does, it would be a major mistake. If you could sign him for 4 years, 76, I think that's pretty fair. I think that's pretty fair. 4 years, 80, I think that's fair, more than fair. If he wants more than that, he could kick rocks. He can kick rocks. I'm not giving him $21 million a year on a 4-year contract. I'm not doing it. I'm just not. And you call his bluff at this point. Rescind the tag. If a team is going to give him 4 years, $84 million, let him do it. I'd be hard-pressed to see a team doing that at this point in time. But we'll see. We'll see how the market develops, my man. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. Let's see. Let me just make sure here. And I think next up is John Kim. So let me make sure that that's on here. I like to pop up your guys' super chats on the chat if I can. Yeah, we're good. John Kim says, "Hey Chris, how do you feel about signing Brown, the linebacker linebacker next to Blake? Blake is great against the run, and Brown is excellent in coverage." Yeah, I saw a number of my subscribers have brought that up to me. I think it was Bengal that made a video on that, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's why it's getting a lot of hype from people. It's possible. I personally don't think the New York Giants are going to prioritize linebacker in free agency. I just don't. I think that they're going to, if they're not going to get a wide receiver, I think that they'll prioritize corner. I think they'll prioritize guard. I think those will be the two spots that they're really looking at if they're not going to sign a guy like Kenny Golladay. And I think they will ultimately sign a wide receiver. It's just a matter of which one, and how much they're willing to spend if it's not for a top-tier guy like Golladay. But I am still of the belief that they will either go with an edge, a corner, or a guard before anything else in free agency if they do not sign a guy like Kenny Golladay. I think that's where they'll spend the bulk of their money. But a number of my subscribers have brought him up to me. Hot Nichols, man, thank you so much, man. So after we aren't able to trick Golladay to come here, what targets are on the radar for the next few waves of free agency? Well, obviously, if you're talking wide receiver, Samuel. That's probably what you're looking at. Obviously, Dave Gettleman ties. He's probably next up. I don't think Juju Smith-Schuster is going to be a target for us. Corey Davis as well. I think that's the next tier. The question is, are the New York Giants willing to pay that tier? Do they feel like those players are worth what they may potentially command? But that's obviously the next tier. And then there's a bunch of low-tier wide receivers that they could look at. I think the guard market, I think that's what you're looking at as well. Tooney's obviously the big name, but there's a number of guys. Trey Turner was dropped. There's a number of guys that they could look at the guard market and the corner market. There is so many names. The corner market is flooded, and I do expect them to try to attack that. I don't think they'll spend a premium on a corner, but I think they'll try to get a solid cornerback too, especially if they can't sign a guy like Kenny Golladay. But I think that's what you're looking at. But obviously the next wide receivers in line would be guys like Samuel and Corey Davis. Kelly, man, thank you very much, man. I'm assuming Leo and Dalvin are boys. Wonder if he knows his demands are messing with Dalvin Tomlinson's chances of staying with the team. Kelly, at the end of the day, I don't think he cares. It's just, it's not a knock, whatever. It's a business. I'm never going to fault the player for trying to get as much money as he can. It's a business. And I can't get mad at the guy. If he feels like he's worth a certain price and the team's willing to give it to him, my hat's off. But I don't ever want my team to do stupid things. And $23 million a year would be a stupid thing. So I'm not going to fault him for that. But yeah, of course, if we end up signing Leonard Williams for his demands or close to his demands, yeah, Dalvin Tomlinson more than likely won't be back with the New York Giants. And it's the same thing for Dalvin Tomlinson. I'm not going to hold any hard feelings about Dalvin Tomlinson. If Tomlinson goes out there and he gets offered $13 million a year, $14 million a year in a 5-year deal, he's got to take it. Whether it's the Cowboys or whether it's not, I've heard rumors that the Cowboys could be interested. I'd hate to see it, but you got to understand from a player's perspective. And I'd be surprised. I don't think we're going to end up getting both of them, but I'd be very happy if we got Dalvin Tomlinson back. I think he's a great leader to this team, and we'll see how the New York Giants value him. And a Pimp, man, thank you very much, man. Sign Golladay, sign Reddick, sign Dalvin Tomlinson. So you're saying let Leonard Williams walk. Round 1, take Parsons, Surtain, or Farley. Round 2, draft a guard. Round 3, take a corner, edge, or wide receiver. Later rounds, halfback, defensive interior, offensive line, linebacker. Yeah, I would. That's probably my line of thinking. If you end up signing Golladay, that's probably where I personally would be. I wouldn't be against taking a wide receiver in the second, but I'd be looking at the second or third. I probably would not be taking a first-round wide receiver if you drafted Golladay, sign Golladay rather. But again, I'm not going to flip out if they do it. I understand that we need a punch to this offense, but I would try to show up the other holes. I'm in agreement with you on that. But thank you very much, my man. And Nikki, man, thank you very much, man. We get Kenny Golladay. Give me Surtain, but you know I want Waddle. Well, we both want Waddle. You know that. I'm a big fan of Waddle. I think that he'd open up this offense. I think Surtain's a perfect fit, though. I know you're a big Alabama guy, Nikki. Surtain's a perfect fit. We got McKinney, former Alabama teammate, ties to Joe Judge. They've played together. Obviously, if Surtain fits this, if McKinney fits the scheme, you could only assume that they'd feel that Surtain would fit the scheme. So if they're going to take a corner, as much as I may like Caleb Farley and his upside, I think Surtain will be the guy if they're going to take a corner. Benjamin, thank you so much, man. He says, my dad is in the hospital. I need some time off. Wow, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Please send some kind. Sorry to hear that, Benjamin. Benjamin's been with me for a long time. Wow, man. I hope you feel. I hope your dad's all right, man. Let me know how it goes, man. Sorry to hear that, Benjamin. Benjamin's been with me for a long time. Carlo, thank you so much, man. Setting aside the money, who do you think is more valuable to the 2021 Giants, Leo or Golladay? Oh God, I personally, if everything was equal, I'd probably say Leo, but Leo's going to want more money. If everything was equal, I'd probably say Leo because you could draft a wide receiver at the 11th pick. You could draft a wide receiver. I would probably say Leo is more valuable. That's just my personal opinion. I know a lot of Giants fans that want the flashy pieces are going to say Golladay. If it was dead even, $15 million a year, 4 years, I would sooner bring back Leonard Williams and draft a wide receiver at number 11 overall. But that's just me. And I know that the offense needs upgrades. But I personally would say Leonard Williams. But I completely understand if they end up getting Golladay and they let Leonard Williams walk. Tana, you missed my... sorry, Nick, man. Hold on. Let me scroll up. I'll try to see it here. If not, I don't know why it's not popping up on here. It skips sometimes. So I'm sorry if I missed anybody's super chat. He says, Tana, you missed my super chat. I said not hearing a lot of buzz around Dalvin. Maybe we get him for cheap 6 or 7. If we end up getting him for 6 or 7, what's going on, Craig Robinson? I see you in here. I see Baruch in here. I want to say hello to him. I want to say hello to Cookie Monster, Afghanistan. I saw Authentic, I believe, in here. Thank you to everybody for being here. Thank you guys for all the support you guys always show. I don't think we'll be able to get Dalvin for 6 or 7, but if you get him for 9 or 10, I think that's still probably below market value, and we'll see. There's not a lot of buzz. The team you got to look out for is Dallas, though. I've heard buzz with Dallas and Dalvin Tomlinson. We'll see. I would hate that. And Jason, man, thank you so much. He says, I know it's not the best, but I would rather let Leo walk if it lets me fix the O-line and get a wide receiver to see what DJ actually is. I understand it. I absolutely understand it. I absolutely understand it. And you don't know what wide receiver is going to be there at 11. Galladay's more of a proven commodity. I get it. But Leonard Williams was very important to this defense last year. I don't forget that. He was very important to this defense last year. But we'll see, man. We'll see. But for what, like I said in the video yesterday, if he's commanding near what he wants, especially after the contract today for Shaq Barrett, I ain't doing it. And if he's going to display he's not happy, I either trade him or I rescind the tag if I can't trade him. I'm not paying him $22 million a year. I'm just not doing it. So that's my opinion on it. But if, like it was asked, if money's not a factor, but money is a factor. So it's hard to answer that question. And what's going on, Mr. Man? Thanks for popping in the stream, my man. Patrick says, just got out of school and ain't streaming. Let's go. What's going on, Patrick, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, my man. I practice at 3:15. I'll have my headphones in and listening. All right, Nick, man. Thank you so much for being here. Waiting to see if we hear any rumors, man. Waiting to see if I don't even have Twitter on me, so it's up to you guys. If something, I know the chat's going to blow up if something big happens, so I'm not worried about it. I'm going to be live till about, I'll probably go to like 4 because I got to do something at 4:30, but I'll probably be on till 4, and then I'll be doing the Knicks game tonight at 8. So thank you to everybody for being here. Chicago says, what are the odds that Giants make any moves today? Like somebody said earlier, if it's going to be a big move, I think it'll be Golladay or bust. I don't think that they're going to sign anybody else big. They may make small moves, but I don't think they're going to make any major moves today if it's not Golladay. But they could. Maybe they sign Reddick. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they get an extension done with Leonard Williams today. Maybe they signed Dalvin Tomlinson back. It's possible. I would say maybe 30 to 40%. They get a notable deal done today. Hey, man, thank you very much, man. I'd love to get Surtain or Farley. Corners decline quickly. Remember how quickly Jenkins, I say that all the time. Getting another stud next to Bradbury would be huge. I agree. I think people just, a lot of people may just assume Bradbury is always going to be good. We thought the same thing about Janoris Jenkins. He fell off real quick. And it's why I've been as outspoken as I have been in upgrading that corner position with young talent. Whether it's in this draft or next year's draft, they're going to have to do it sooner than later because you don't know how long Bradbury's going to be as good as he is. They could fall off quick. You lose a step at that corner position, they fall off real quick, and we don't have a good second corner right now. So I'm a big corner guy. Craig, man, thank you very much, man. Any cornerbacks you want gone, Giants to look at? I've said Rhodes. Rhodes is a guy I've talked about a lot. Also Jackson from the Bengals. Those are the two guys I've talked about in free agency, but there's so many to choose from. Obviously Butler, he's got ties. So there's a lot of names that the New York Giants could be looking at, and we'll see. We'll see if they end up with one of them, but it is flooded. The corner market is flooded. There's so many veterans out there that the New York Giants could be taking a look at, and I think they'll get them for a decent price. So we'll see. But, yeah, those are some guys I've talked about. I don't think Rhodes would take much of a commitment. And Shaw, man, thank you very much, man. 3 slices of New York pizza, and Golladay can't leave the room. Let me take a sip of my coffee because it's going to get cold. I'll read the rest of it. It's already cold. He says 3 slices of New York pizza and Golladay can't leave the room because of a food coma. Then off for 4 years since he'll be in a good mood because of good food. He signs. Hey, if you ever want to sell a guy on New York, just take him out for dinner, man. I've been all around the country. There ain't no better food than New York. Whether it's pizza, whether it's Chinese, there ain't no better food than New York City. You ever want to sell a free agent? Take him out for dinner, man. He'll get real impressed. But thank you very much, man. I appreciate it, my man. What's going on there, Rocco, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, my man. Come on, guys. Smash the like button. I appreciate it. Charlie G, man. Thanks for popping in, my man. If you guys are new to the channel, hit that thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell. Appreciate everybody for being here. Now, we're going to have an issue here. Danny. Chicago pizza is better than New York pizza. I've been to Chicago. I've had Chicago pizza. Chicago pizza is good. It's good. It's good. It's like a dessert. It fills you up. I have 1 slice. I'm done for the day. But, no, it's not close. New York pizza all day. New York pizza all day over Chicago pizza. What's going on there, B. Helms, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, my man. Better bring some. Oh, yeah, I'll have a couple beers tonight, man. What's going on there, Andrew, man? Thanks for popping in the stream. Somebody said that's probably nonsense. Somebody said we got Golladay. What's up there, B. Helms, man? Thanks for popping in. If we got Golladay, it would be flooded. Abe Capone, man, thank you very much, man. Did you hear about the Patrick Ewing situation? Abe Capone says, what's going on there, John D'Angelo, man? Thanks for popping in. I did. How the security kind of frisked him when he came in and he was upset about it. Yes, I absolutely heard about it. And it's just more embarrassment for the New York Knicks. I mean, it's unfortunate. We have things like that all the time. Charles Oakley. Yeah, I mean, that Patrick Ewing should be a god when he's even within 4 blocks of Madison Square Garden. They should have a red carpet for him. It's a joke. That they gave him a hard time when he entered the building, and Patrick Ewing displayed that he was upset about it. Yeah, I heard about it. Let's see what we got here. Chris, have I ever been to Pawtucket? I've been to Rhode Island. I don't think I've been to Pawtucket. I've been to Rhode Island once. It's about 4 hours from where I live, 4 or 5 hours. I've been there once to visit an old friend of mine, but I've only been there one time. I don't think I've been to Pawtucket though. What's going on there? Ray West says, "What up, boys? What do you say? What's going on, my man? I'm checking Twitter. No to Golladay. We'll see, man." Jonathan, man, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. He says, my guy, you know how I feel. Offensive line early in the draft. Giants get Kenny Golladay. That's a big statement they're making and getting DJ weapons. But what if they double down and go wide receiver or tight end with Kenny Golladay? That would be something. John, listen, if they do that, I don't want to hear about weapons for the next 2 drafts. If they do that, I don't want to hear about weapons for the next 2 drafts. We're going to be boring the next 2 drafts. We got to make sure that offensive line is good. But I'll understand it because we need artillery. And we need to know what we got in Daniel Jones. But if the offensive line sucks, it ain't going to matter who we got out there. So this offensive line, it's got to be close to league average this year if we want to see Daniel Jones take a big step. Can't forget about the offensive line. Pete, man, thank you very much, man. Next year, Nick's starting 5, Booker. Is Booker a free agent? Is he? I don't think he is. And I don't think the Suns would trade him. It'd be great if we got him. Quickly, RJ Randall, Mitch. That's a deep playoff run right there. I think Devin Booker is a legit future top 5. I agree with you on that. I just don't see the reason why the Suns would get rid of him. The Suns right now are the 2 seed in the West, and I'm pretty sure he's not a free agent. I could be wrong on that. Highlight, man. Thank you very much, man. Rappaport said Golladay wants 4. Yeah, I heard about that earlier, Highlight. That's well within our range. Abe, thank you so much, man. Can't lie, today is more encouraging for Giants fans. Yeah, well, listen, there's good news today. I think the Shaq Barrett contract was good news. I think the Shaq Barrett contract was good news for the Giants. The fact that we're even in the discussions with Kenny Golladay is going to get Giants fans excited naturally, being that he's the best wide receiver on the market. So it is exciting, but we'll see what ultimately comes from it. Zeitler signing, I think, is actually good news for what he signed for. I think it's going to set that guard market, and we'll be able to find a solid replacement for, a much cheaper price than what we were set to pay Zeitler. But let's see how it plays out, man. We still got a lot of questions. This free agency period is going to be a lot of fun. It always is. But hopefully we end up happy. And again, I want to continue to reiterate that don't get bummed. If we don't sign anybody big the next 2 or 3 days, think back to last year. We got Logan Ryan like a month before the year started. We ended up getting Marcus Golden back on that revision like 4 months after free agency. So let's let the offseason play out. Let's see how the Giants fill these holes, whether we get Golladay or whether we don't. There's going to be a lot of players in this market, and there's not going to be a lot of teams that can pay them. Giants got to be smart. Nate, man, thank you very much, man. Situation, we draft picks at 11. Is it realistic to trade Ingram and our second for the Packers first and maybe a fifth so we could draft edge at 30? I mean, I suppose it's possible. I mean, if you traded our second for their first, you're moving up what? I don't know, 11 spots. It's possible if they liked Ingram. We'll see what the Packers end up doing with their weapons. I still don't think we're trading Evan Ingram. I'd be surprised, but we'll see. Of course, Giant fans would not be upset with it. And yeah, he does have some value. He's only making $6 million this year, so he's affordable with a small cap. We'll see. I mean, the Packers they got Tanyan, though. I just thought about that. Why would the Packers want Evan Ingram? I just thought about that. Why would they want Evan Ingram? They got Robert Tanyan. The guy had like 12 touchdowns this year. He's the guy that should have made the Pro Bowl instead of Evan Ingram. So I don't see it. I don't see why the Packers would even want him. And Tay, man, thank you so much, man. Booker's the player people think Windhorst is talking about when he said a superstar will force his way into New York. Well, if he forces his way, that's something else. We'll see. That would be a hell of a price tag. There's no way you're going to be able to keep both R.J. Barrett and Julius Randle. If you're trading for Devin Booker, you might be able to keep one. I don't see how you keep both. Like you said, Devin Booker's a borderline top 5 player in the league, or potential to be. I don't see how you keep both. Let's see. And obviously, you'd give up a lot of draft capital. AZ Bills fan, man, thank you very much, man. As a Bills fan, I would love it if you guys got Kenny Golladay. Well, I appreciate it, man. I would love it if we got him too. Obviously, he wouldn't pose a threat in your division. The Jets could potentially get him. They got a lot of cap space, so that'd be good for you. You guys already have your wide receivers. You got Diggs, and, you saw what Diggs did for Josh Allen. That's another great comparison. Not to say that Jones is Josh Allen. Josh Allen, I always say it. In my opinion, I know Authentic, if he's in here, strongly disagrees with me. But in my opinion, I think Josh Allen is super talented. So I'm not saying that they're equal in terms of upside. But you saw what he did for Josh Allen in his third year. Stephon Diggs had a lot to do with it. If the Giants go out there and get Kenny Golladay, maybe he helps them. We'll see. But I think a lot of Giants fans would be excited if we got him. What's going on there, Simon? Man, thanks for popping in the stream, my man. What's going on, Jedi? Thanks for popping in. Chris, you ever going to do a? I'm not a big video game guy. I'm just not. I'm not a big video game guy. True Rapless, man. Thank you very much. Jamar Chase found with 12 pounds of crack, falling to 11. I'm gonna tell you what. If Jamar Chase was found with crack, what's up there, Vasily, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. If Jamar Chase was found with crack, the Giants wouldn't draft him in the 8th round. The Giants passed on Tunsil because he was smoking weed. If he had crack on him, the Giants wouldn't draft him in the 10th round. But thank you very much, man. I appreciate it, my man. Let's see. And Dylan, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, New York Jets fan here. I want to Tooney, Lindsay, Kenny Golladay, and Lawson. You guys have a ton of money. You guys are going to sign somebody. I got to imagine the Jets are going to sign somebody. They're going to want to be able to help out their young quarterback. I've predicted Juju Smith-Schuster to the Jets for a while. I don't know why. I just feel like that's what's going to happen. I don't have much of a reason to feel that way other than that he has a connection to Darnold, but Darnold's probably going to be off the team. I've thought for some reason Juju's going to be a Jet for a long time, but we'll see. But I definitely think you guys will be active. You'll definitely sign a wide receiver. I don't know if it'll be Golladay. I don't know if it'll be Schuster. I don't know if it'll be Davis. I don't know if it'll be Samuel. I think you're going to sign one of them. You guys have a ton of money, and you need to help out your new quarterback. Paul says, what do you mean? The best? That's true. He did, and it worked out pretty well. That's a good point. But we didn't know he was smoking crack when we drafted him. And what's going on, Noah, man? Next popping in the stream, man. Jay says, Barrett told me that Florida's zero income tax is more appetizing than New York's cuisine. That's a good point. You know, that's something that we don't often think about as fans. Places like Dallas, places like Florida, the taxes are much lower, and that plays a factor. New York, we all know the taxes are insane. And when you're talking 15, 20, $30 million, yeah, that is a negative a lot of times when it comes to players wanting to come here. $30 million in Dallas is a lot more than $30 million in New York. And the same thing with Tampa Bay. It's a good point you bring up. Pimp, man, thank you very much, man. I think we're set up in a position where even if Jones isn't the guy, and hopefully he is, we have a solid foundation for the future of the offense. Well, I don't think we're there yet. We got to see what we do in the offseason. But yes, if we do what I think we're going to do, yes, if Jones fails, at a bare minimum, maybe it's not a perfect situation, depending on what we do, depending on how the players we draft and the players we've already drafted progress. But it is undeniable, if Jones does fail, the quarterback that will replace him will be set up much better than Jones initially was. And you get more out of that rookie contract. But obviously, we're all hoping that Jones is the guy. And Jones proves that he takes a huge step forward in year 3. But yes, at a bare minimum, I agree with you. I don't know if it'll be a perfect situation, but it'll be a much better situation than what Jones inherited. If the Giants do what I think they're going to do this offseason. I agree with you on that. That's why people, yeah, exactly, Pat. The New York taxes are insane. Patriots are targeting Judon. Really? Now, that's a good fit in terms of scheme. That is a very good fit. The Ravens and the Patriots have a very similar defensive philosophy. That's a good fit. Depends on what he would cost, but Judon didn't even have that good of a year last year. Watch the Patriots get him for a pretty cheap deal, I bet you, if they get him. That's interesting. If he ends up going there, he is a good schematic fit there. If they get him, Patriots have been active. They signed Janu Smith. Now they're going after Matt Judon. Very interesting. Very interesting. I want to know about Van Noy. I want to know where Van Noy's going. Ian, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, if we trade Leo for a second, we could get the Penn State tight end. It's true. Pat Freiermuth, if we end up trading him. I just hope we get an extension done. I hope it's fair. I hope it's not crazy. That's what I hope. But we'll see. Ellis, man, thank you so much, man. Texas has the best food. I'm a big fan. Been following for about a year from Texas. Listen, I've been to Texas. I ain't even going to lie to you, Ellis. I only been there one time. I was there for about a week or whatever it was. The food is fantastic. I went. I'm still going to New York though. I'm from New York. I'm biased. Whatever. New York's food is ridiculous. But Whataburger. I'm gonna tell you this, for a fast food joint. If anybody is ever in Texas, Whataburger, whatever it's pronounced, that is the best fast food burger place I've ever been. And yeah, Texas food is insane. I've been a big fan following for about a year from Texas. Let Leo walk. He's asking for too much for 1 year of success and signed Alvin Tomlinson. Construct a deal with Corey Davis and Samuel, I think you mean to say there. And that may be what we end up doing. We'll see. I think they're going to have till March 17th until I think that they could rescind him or potentially work out an extension because I think they're going to need more money if they want to bring in some of these players, if they plan to make, solid moves in free agency. Hey, man, thank you very much, man. Real estate and sales tax sucks here in Tampa, though. Does it? Yeah, I know that some of your taxes are really low, but okay, so it can't suck more than New York, though. Believe me, it cannot suck more than New York. Trust me. And Bill, man, thank you very much, man. I really appreciate it. He says, Chris, interested in your brutal, honest assessment of our O-line as it exists today, and whether it will be better than last year. Bill, my brutal assessment right now, I do have faith in Thomas. I do think Thomas is going to be a very good tackle. I really do. I think he took a big step forward the second half of last year. I like Gates. I think Gates is going to be a good lineman. I don't know if he'll be great. I think he's going to be a good lineman, and he's versatile. I think you can play him at the center of the guard. Outside of that, we have major question marks. We just do. You hope that Matt Barrett could turn into something really good, but we don't know yet. You hope that Will Hernandez could hit his stride. I think Hernandez is a little bit better than the Giants gave him credit for last year. I think he should definitely be starting over Lemieux. Lemieux, as far as I'm concerned right now, is a developmental player. Nothing more, nothing less. Could he turn into a good guard? Perhaps. But right now, when I watch him play, the guy can't pass protect to save his life. When I watch Shane Lemieux pass protect, I feel like I'm in Spain, going to the stadium to watch a bullfight. Olay, he lets the guys go by him every time. So I am not a huge fan, at least as of now, of having Shane Lemieux in the starting lineup. I'm not saying he can't get better, he can't mature. It's why I wanted to be able to reconstruct Kevin Zeitler if it was possible. But I do think they're going to sign a guard. And it's hard for me to give you an assessment on our offensive line right now until such time I see what guard we bring in and what we do in the draft. But yeah, we definitely have holes. This offensive line needs to get much better. Do I think it could be better next year? Sure. I think they have another year together, at least some of these guys. And you would think they'd only get better playing with one another, but we're still far away from where we need to be. It's far from a finished product. That's for damn sure. But thank you to everybody for being here, man. I appreciate it, man. You like the Olay? And if you're new, hit that thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell. What's going on, AP? What's going on, Anthony Williams? What about Hernandez? Hernandez, to me, I don't know yet. I'm still in a wait to see. Every year, I love the Hernandez pick. And anybody in here that says otherwise when we picked him is full of shit. I'm not going to say everyone, but most people were in love with the Hernandez pick when we made it. Almost everybody had him graded out as a first-round talent. The Giants ended up getting him in the second round. I loved him, okay? I loved the pick. I thought he was going to grow into be something really good. He's been underwhelming. There's no other way around it. The guy's been underwhelming. He was pretty solid in his rookie year. He was underwhelming in 2019. He was underwhelming in 2020. Of course, he had COVID last year, but I thought he'd be much better at this point in time. Do I think he could still grow into be a solid guard? Yeah. I still think he's a starting guard in the NFL. I still think he's a starting guard in the NFL. I don't think he's ever going to be a Pro Bowl guard, but could he be a solid guard? Yeah, I still think he could be a solid guard. But we'll see. He definitely needs to take a big step up this year. And I've been saying that I think he's going to take a big step up last year and the year before that, and he didn't. So I'm not gonna commit myself to thinking that this year. But could he? Yeah, I still think he could be a solid guard. I don't think he'll ever be a Pro Bowler, but I think most Giant fans love that pick. Lax, man, thank you very much, man. Did you see Zeitler 3 years, $22.5 million with the Ravens? 60. Yeah, Lax, I did. And as I said earlier, and in my video earlier today, but I think that it's actually good news for the Giants in the sense that it's setting the guard market and it shows you that he got half of what we were paying him. And he's a good guard. He's as good as most guards that are out there in the open market. So if he got that, how much are the other guards going to be able to get? So the Giants should be able to get a cheaper guard. Of course, a lot of Giants fans are going to look at that deal and they're going to say, well, why didn't the Giants just bring him back for that? Doesn't mean he wanted to come back here for that. The Ravens are a Super Bowl contender. He also may have felt the heat of free agency and said, well, I'm probably not going to get much more than that as he started to see Trey Turner be available. He saw Tooney be available. He saw all these guards available, and he saw the market, and he saw the cap space around the league, and he might have said to himself, well, I'm probably not going to get much more than $7 or $8 million a year. Let me just sign now to the best team that I could sign with. That could have been what happened, but he may have not been willing to come back to the Giants for that same price. As I said earlier, we traded for him. He didn't elect to come here. We traded for him. So he may not have been willing to come here for $22.5 million on a 3-year contract. Dylan, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, Jets have to put in a big offer for Tooney. Let's go. Have put in a big offer for Tooney. Let's go. He'd be a great pickup for you guys. I'm going to give the Jets credit for one thing. They've done a really good job over the last 2 years. They should have done it a year earlier. You know that, Dylan, if you're a diehard Jets fan. You should have done it a year earlier. Should have done it year 2 for Darnold. You waited a year longer than you should have. But the last year, you did a great job at addressing that offensive line and starting to build it. Becton was a really good pick. You made a couple of good free agent acquisitions on the line. And Tooney would really go a long way towards helping your future quarterback. So if you get him, that'd be a really good pickup for you guys. It'd be a smart signing. It'd be a really smart signing. And Eddie, man, thank you very much, man. In-N-Out is better. Go Giants. In-N-Out's great, too. Again, not on the East Coast. In-N-Out's on the West Coast. I've had an In-N-Out a couple of times. I've had In-N-Out in California, and I've had In-N-Out in Vegas. Every time I go to Vegas, I've been to Vegas maybe like 6 times, I get In-N-Out. It's a little bit off the strip, but it's phenomenal. And my friend that lives in California, he tells me always to get I think it's called Animal Style. But yeah, In-N-Out's great. I'm still going Whataburger, but it could be recency bias. I've only had Whataburger 2 times because when I was in Texas over my 4 days, I went there twice. But they're both great. I think I'm going to go Whataburger, but it's very close. What's going on there, King Seahawk, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, my man. Somebody said, Chris, I think you're over-exaggerating on Kevin says, Chris, I think you're over-exaggerating on Shane Lemieux. He wasn't that bad. His run blocking was good. His pass blocking was like going to a bullfight. I literally felt like they were playing literal bulls whenever Daniel Jones would drop back to pass. I mean, to put it in perspective, last year Shane Lemieux surrendered as many sacks as Will Hernandez has surrendered his entire career in a half season's worth of snaps. He had like 500 snaps. He surrendered 5 sacks at the guard position. That's horrible. And I'm not saying he can't grow. I'm not saying that. When you draft a 5th round guard, he really shouldn't be in the starting lineup. He's a developmental player. So I'm not knocking Shane Lemieux. I'm just saying I don't want him in the starting lineup going into next year, ideally. Michael, man, thank you very much, man. I just found out how to do these, Chris. You're about to Well, Michael, man, I appreciate you, man, for being such a great supporter of the channel, man. Thank you so much, my man. And I appreciate everybody for being here. Thank you guys for everything that you always do for the channel. I'll probably go live again tomorrow. Obviously, this is a hot time right now for the NFL. I'll probably do this again tomorrow, a midday stream if there's more news dropping, and there probably will be the next couple of days. There's going to be a lot of news coming out in free agency for the Giants. I'm going to be following it anyway, so I might as well go live and have you guys tell me and get to experience it with you guys together as we see big names drop. So I'll be live tonight for the Knicks Nets. I call every Knicks game, but like I said, obviously it's going to be basketball first in that stream. I'm going to be doing the play-by-play. It's a big game, Knicks Nets, but definitely if there's anything that drops, then we'll be talking about it during the stream as well, halftime, before the game, whatever it may be. But I'm going to be live till about 4. I got something to do at 4:30, but we'll talk today. And, if there's more news dropping tomorrow, we'll go live again. But thank you to everybody for being here, man. I really appreciate it, man. Thomas says, I've never had almost no idea what we were going to do in free agency in all my years of being a fan. Well, Thomas, it's very unpredictable this year. It's not like a normal offseason. It's just not. There's more players available than ever before, and there's less money around the league to spend. So you shouldn't really, to be honest with you. You really shouldn't. It's not a normal offseason. In a normal offseason, every team would have $35 more million to spend, and there wouldn't be as many free agents available because teams would have retained players like Kevin Zeitler. So I keep saying it, and it's what I've thought for like 2 months now, or a month, when I really thought about it, and fans don't want to hear it because they want you to just go out there and get the next shiny toy. But the smartest thing to do, and what the smartest thing most teams will do in this market is wait. Because you're going to see names and you're going to say, holy crap, how the hell did that guy sign for $4 million? It's going to happen. It's inevitable. So it's a crazy offseason, but the smart teams will save some money in their budget to be able to get guys on good deals as the market develops. Nick, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. And I'll get to Aiden, too. I skipped him by accident. He says, insert Faruqi and Faruqi in the shout-out. Absolutely. And I actually got the link right here for anybody that is not aware. That is the official sponsor of the channel, Faruqi and Faruqi Personal Injury Lawyer Attorneys. And if anybody is watching this stream and if anybody harmed themselves, which very good chance you might have. I mean, if you're a Giants fan, you're probably freaking out. Maybe you're bald by now. Maybe you punched yourself in the face, in the groin. I don't know. You're upset that we haven't gotten Kenny Golladay yet. You're upset that we may be paying Leonard Williams $6 trillion and you've hurt yourself personally. You go to the website, you check them out, and, they'll be able to help you out. I know as sports fans, you guys are passionate. And thank you so much, Nick, man. I really appreciate it, my man. And I think I skipped Aiden. Aiden, man, thank you very much, man. HB's with 3,035 and 5 yards per catch in 4 seasons. Yeah, listen, I'm not knocking Aaron Jones. What I am doing is I think I'm knocking the A.J. Dillon pick. If they thought they were going to re-sign Aaron Jones, you shouldn't have drafted a running back in the second round. This is my personal opinion. And I think most Packer fans would agree with that. And I don't think the Packers had the best of drafts last year. Jeremy, man, thank you very much, man. Giants are broke. That Logan Ryan deal ripped us. See, I don't think it did. When you look at the Logan Ryan deal, did it really rip us? The Logan Ryan deal is a 3-year, $31 million contract, but it's only $19 million. It might even be less. It might be 18 over the first 2 years. And then the last year, there's no dead cap hit. It's basically a 2-year, $18 or $19 million commitment. It's not that bad. And it's only $7 million this year. They're only paying him $7 million this year. It's not that crazy. It's not that crazy. I think that's only going to be a 2-year commitment. Brandon, man, thank you very much, man. I really appreciate it. He says, hoping the Seahawks can splurge on a few big names. The Smith signing to New England is great. Hoping those Seahawks can splurge on. Yeah, Jonnu Smith is a great fit. Somebody said earlier that they thought that the I forgot who it was. Somebody said earlier that they thought the Patriots overpaid. Glad to see you, Brandon, by the way. I think that's about market rate. I mean, you look at what Hooper got last year, and we know historically, Brandon, the way that the Patriots use tight ends, it's probably going to fit in just fine there. I think it's a really good pickup by them. It looks like they're being aggressive. There was another player somebody said earlier that they're monitoring and looking at. So we'll see, Brandon. But yeah, I agree with you. I think it's a good fit. Killy, man, thank you very much, man. Breaking news: Biden giving 1% of COVID relief bill to help the New York Giants pay for Leonard Williams and Kenny Golladay. Go Giants! Hey, we're all getting $1,400 checks. Why don't you? What? There's an idea. Why doesn't every Giants fan around the world? Well, not the world because it's in America. In America, that's getting one of these $1,400 checks, just give it to the Giants. Give it to the Giants. Say, hey, put this money towards Kenny Golladay. I know that obviously there's a salary cap. I'm kidding. That can't happen. Kata, man, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. He says, thanks for doing this, Tane. I appreciate that, Kata, man. Thank you so much for being here, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you for being a great supporter of the channel. And like I said, we'll probably do this tomorrow. I love doing this. I did it last year. It was a lot of fun. I'm hoping we get some big news while I'm live. And I'm going to tell you what, I got something to do at 4:30. If something huge drops, I'll probably go live and talk about it with you guys. Like if the Giants sign Kenny Golladay, I'm going to go live. So we'll see. But I got something to do at 4:30, but we'll see. And let's see. Keyshawn, man, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. He says, great plan on going after Leonard Floyd. Love the content, Chris. Keep it up. Love to come back on the channel and talk some Giants football. Go Army. Definitely, man. That's something that I'm going to do in the very near future. I'm probably going to get back to having subscribers on the channel every now and again. I'm not going to have call-ins because when you have call-ins, you get dicks on your screen. You get trolls and it gets redundant. But one thing I probably will do is I'll probably pick out a set of subscribers once a week after free agency, as the draft is approaching, as it gets closer, to come on and talk Giants football, ask some questions, answer some questions from the chat. I'll probably do something like that. I like to have my subscribers on the channel. And the member stream, I'm not telling anybody to join, but the member streams are always fun because that's what I do on those streams, because I have them come on, and we do that once a month. We have them come on. We have a video chat. But thank you very much, man. I really appreciate it. And Dylan, man, thank you very much. Andre Roberts headed to the Texans, 2 years, $5.95 million. So there you go. There's another signing there. There's going to be small signings throughout the day. There'll be small signings as well. Not a huge, splash, but there's a small signing for you. Appreciate it, man. Thank you very much, man. I really appreciate it. What's up there, Christian Pena? I'm going to tell you what, the Texans, it don't matter who they sign. That team sucks. That team's trash this year. So they're going to compete with the Eagles for the first pick. Did you hear the rumors on the Giants signing Bud Dupree? I've heard brief rumors. It didn't seem like there was anything legitimate to the rumors about Bud Dupree. This is what I've gathered about Bud Dupree. And maybe there's been more to it. I know Renan's been hammering home with that. And I'm not trying to discredit Renan. He's an insider. He works for ESPN. He has contact with the players. But what initially sparked that fire, from what I understood, when I read what everybody was going crazy about, Jordan Renan basically had a simulation with other ESPN writers for other teams around the league. And for the Giants, he chose to sign Bud Dupree. And then all of a sudden that took off and everybody ran with it on Twitter as if to say that there's a rumor that the New York Giants are interested in Bud Dupree. No, that doesn't mean that there's a rumor. That means that the GM in a fantasy draft essentially chose Bud Dupree. So that's what I gathered. That's what sparked all this, where everybody was talking about Bud Dupree. I am not a fan of bringing in Bud Dupree. The guy had a major injury. Unless you can get him on a really cheap deal, okay. But I'm not a fan of giving him a multi-year contract coming off that injury. It's just me. I do think he fits the scheme. Chris, it is 100% confirmed that Schefter said we are meeting with Kenny Golladay today. Jamie, that is what I heard from several people. Several people. It was on television, on ESPN. I did not see it myself. I heard it from several people, not just one. Tana, Curtis Samuel is a dog. He'll be cheaper, versatile, great hands. And if we grab Pitts, that will officially solidify the core. Yeah. Listen, if we get Samuel and Pitts, that's like somebody said earlier, Golladay and Pitts. I think Samuel and Pitts is a better fit. I think Golladay and Waddle's a better fit. Pitts is similar to Golladay in the sense that he's that tall guy, that red zone target, something that we definitely need improvement on with this offense. Last year, we had the 31st ranked red zone offense. We definitely could use a tall threat like that could go up and catch the 50-50s. But I agree with you. I think if we sign Samuel, I think Pitts is a good fit here. But I continue to say, not trying to give Giants fans hopes up. I'm leaning that Pitts will not be there at 11. But if he's there, he definitely could be taken by the Giants. Greg, man, thank you very much, man. He says, fine. I'll make an appearance on the channel. You should. Greg, man, we root for the same teams. I mean, we're both long-suffering Mets fans. We're huge Giants fans. We got to do it, my man. I think you follow me on Twitter. I know you follow me on Twitter. So, yeah, man, reach out to me on Twitter when I decide. I'm going to probably start doing it in about 2 weeks. And, yeah, I'll definitely have you on, man. You've been with me forever. And Pat, I'm going to have Pat on the channel, too, by the way. I was on his channel. I made a surprise appearance about a week ago. He's got a new channel. Check him out. He says we may need to trade Leo. He thinks his market is above $20 million. It's nonsense. Shaq only got $18 million. His market took a huge hit. I agree with you. Now, I'm going to be fair and say that I do think that Barrett signed for less than what he's worth to try to compete for a Super Bowl. Probably would have been worth 21 or $22 million. But at the end of the day, how do you justify to Giants fans paying Leonard Williams $22 million when Shaq Barrett got 18? I could see 19 or 20 because, yeah, I could understand that he went back to try to win a Super Bowl. But what we heard reportedly, what Shaq Barrett's looking for, I don't know what Leonard Williams rather is looking for. I don't know how he could demand that right now. And Cole's bluff. If he thinks he could get that, go ahead. Go try to get your 21 or 22. We'll give you 19, 4 years. And Matt, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for the $2 donation. I appreciate it. Bryce Kelly, man, thank you so much. He says, you think any action today or no? Well, there's obviously going to be action around the league. As far as the Giants goes, I mean, it's a guessing game, Bryce. I mean, I've thought all along that if there's going to be any action, I think it'll be in-house guys first. I don't think – it could be Golladay. We'll see. But I would lean no. I think the Giants are going to be patient. I think they're going to let the market develop, and I think they're going to try to get guys on somewhat cost-effective deals. But that doesn't mean it won't happen. You don't know. It's completely unpredictable. It's what makes it fun. But in the end, I think the Giants will be selective in what they do, and I think it's the smart approach. I don't think you want to overspend. Let the market develop. Let these teams set the market. Then try to find the players that you want to get. But I do think if Golladay is for the right price, I definitely think the Giants will show interest. Doesn't mean they're going to be able to get him. But we'll see. Killian, man, thank you very much, man. I really appreciate it. And he says, you want to include an Irish boy before the draft? Oh, yeah, for sure. I always love to have my overseas subscribers on. I've done that numerous times. I think it's awesome. All the overseas support that people show my channel and the Giants in general. I have so many people from overseas, UK, Ireland, Mexico. Not that they're overseas, but so many people from other countries that support the channel. New Zealand. Ada, man, thank you very much, man. Supposedly, Taya is getting extended within 2 weeks. Interesting. In terms of the Giants for extensions, one guy that I've talked about is Peppers. I think he's a possibility to get extended. I think Martinez is another one to try to free up cap space. I think those are two names that they could explore if they feel like they're in the long-term plans. That's another way to try to create cap space. But that's interesting. Bulgaria too, man. Don't forget. Well, there you go. There's another overseas supporter. No, I think he's talking about somebody on the Packers, Scott. He's a Packers fan. Do you think the Giants will keep Evan Ingram? Ultimately, I do. Not long-term, but I think for this year, ultimately, I do. I think he'll be your tight end. I could be wrong, though. I think if the right deal presented itself, they'd be open to trading him. Even I call a bluff that, when they speak as highly as they do about him, I'm calling a bluff there. I don't think they think he's, God's gift. The guy cost us football games last year at the tight end position, but I don't think they're just going to hand him away. But if the right deal presented itself, I think they'd be open to trading him. But I think he'll play this year with the Giants, but I don't think he'll be back after that. Patriots been making moves. Yeah, and Darian, you know what? I'm not surprised. Normally they're not super active in free agency, but they were a team last year that disappointed. They're trying to compete. So they, Newton's coming back. It's not like he's a rookie quarterback. They're probably trying to compete this year and fill in the holes. And you got to remember the Patriots are going to be getting a lot of guys back that held out due to COVID. Michael, man, thank you very much, man. Didn't they have like 7 guys or something? They had by far the most in terms of impact players hold out last year. Michael, man, thank you very much, man. He says, everybody, go hit that like button. I appreciate that, Michael, man. Thank you for all the support on the channel, man. Hit the like, subscribe, ring the bell. We'll probably be doing this tomorrow. Like I said, I'm not going to just do it to do it. If there's some news coming out, there's going to be something to talk about, we'll do it again. But we'll see. But I appreciate everybody for being here and all the support you guys always show. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the first day of free agency. Obviously, there's been nothing with the Giants yet, but we're starting to see the market develop. We're starting to see some players go to different destinations. And I think you're going to start to see some big names fall off the board. Shaq Barrett, as I always thought, stayed on with the Bucs. That's kind of been the biggest name so far. Janu Smith's a big name. He ended up signing with the Patriots. So We'll see where some of these guys go. We'll see where the market gets set at the wide receiver position, which is what a lot of you guys are interested in right now. And we'll see if Leonard Williams is able to sign an extension with the Giants. Would you be willing to trade Slayton if we get Golladay and draft Waddle? I don't see the need to trade Slayton. I saw somebody bring that up yesterday, I think, or 2 days ago, whenever it was, when I was live, I think with Bad Dog. I think they said cut Slayton, but I don't see the need to trade Slayton. He's making nothing. So even if you brought in 2 wide receivers, keep him as a depth wide receiver, keep him as a 4th option. You're not paying him anything. He's a 5th round pick, and he's a guy that could step in if somebody gets hurt. I don't see the need to do it. We're thin at that position as is. He's young. Yeah, he was disappointing last year, but I mean, the other thing I keep saying about him, let's factor in he was getting number 1 coverage. I mean, really, he's not a number 1. You get a number 1, he's going to be getting number 2 coverage. That's a big difference. He may perform much better in terms of efficiency and getting open and things like that. So, and in the past, he's shown he has good chemistry with Daniel Jones, especially in his rookie year. So, I don't really see a need to trade him or cut him or anything like that. Keep him on the team. He makes nothing. Edgar, man, thank you very much, man. Hey, Mr. Dana, thanks for doing this today. GOAT. No, Edgar, thank you. Thank you for being here, man. Thank you for showing support on the channel, man. I really appreciate it. Deception says, what's up, Dana? Do you think signing Kenny Golladay is in the Giants' best interest, or do you think we should focus on the O-line in free agency? Depends on the contract. It depends on the contract. And it also depends on what they feel about the wide receivers in the first round. What I'll say is this. If they sign Golladay, I can't be upset. I can't be upset. It makes sense. We need a number 1 option. He provides that. It's a gamble, but you need to take gambles. So I understand it. But I'm completely with you in the sense that we definitely need to make sure this offensive line is much better. And we just lost Kevin Zeitler. So I understand where you're coming from too. And it's why I would not be opposed at all to drafting a first-round offensive lineman if we sign Kenny Golladay. At all, if Rashawn Slater was there. But thank you very much, man. I really appreciate it. And, oh, man, Joel, man, thank you so much. Joel's the man, dude. He supports all the New York Giants YouTubers, man. Thank you so much. Stand up! New member, looking forward to getting to talk to you. I know that you're always on the video. I've talked to you before, but looking forward to getting to talk to you more. You're always in the video chats. And thank you so much, Joel, man. I really appreciate it, buddy. And Big Pat, my man. Stand up, new member, going over there. Check him out. Check him out. Definitely gonna have him on the channel in a couple of weeks. We've talked about that already. He's a new channel. Check him out. Guy does good work. He's a good guy. And looking forward to having you on the channel. We'll do a mock draft in a couple of weeks, man. But thank you so much, buddy. Definitely going to get a couple of Giants YouTubers on for one of those as we start to figure out the needs around the league. And Nano, man, thank you so much, man. Vikings defensive end Hunter is unhappy with his contract and is exploring asking for a trade. He's really good. He was really good a couple of years ago. Depends on what the price is. I don't even know what his contract is, to be completely honest with you, because he's not a pending free agent. Depends on what the contract is, and it depends on what the price is. But yeah, he's really good. I would lean probably not. I don't think I think the New York Giants are, with as many talented players that there are in this year's free agency market, I don't see the need to go out there and make a trade and give away assets. I think you're going to be able to get solid pros to fill in some holes on this team. So that's just my opinion, but he's a good player. Ligma, man, thank you very much, man. Golladay more overrated than New York pizza. Okay, first off, Ligma, first off, if he was more overrated than New York pizza, that means nothing, because New York pizza is not overrated. If anything, New York pizza is underrated. I could swim in New York pizza. I could eat New York pizza for a month straight. So if you're telling me he's more overrated than New York pizza, that may mean he's the best wide receiver in the league, because New York pizza is far from overrated. So if you're going to come at me with pizza talk, Ligma, come correct. Kelly, man, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. And he says, Daniel Hunter put in a tweet. Yeah, somebody just said that, Kelly. We'll see what the asking price is. We'll see what the asking price is, but I don't think the Giants are going to be. We only have 6 draft picks as is. I don't think we're going to be rushing to give away draft picks. And Sean, man, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. He says, love you, Chris. You and Bad Dog are the GOATs. Watch you guys every day for G-Men content. Hopefully, we can make some splash moves this year and compete. Sean, man, I really appreciate it, man. Looking forward to getting to meet a lot of you guys, too. You know, I was talking to several YouTubers off of YouTube. I want to try to organize something big this year for a tailgate and LPG. So I'd love to organize something huge this year for one of the Giants games. But, man, I appreciate the support, man. Thank you so much. Let's see. Chris Hoffman, man, thank you so much, man. Why didn't the Giants use Toyota more in the red zone? He's 6'7". Your guess is as good as mine. I thought they would. To be fair, they probably didn't get in the red zone a lot. But no, your guess is as good as mine. They used him primarily as a blocker in 2 and 3 tight end sets on the goal line. I think he only took about 24% of the snaps. But yeah, no, I thought he would have been used more as a goal line target. He only had like 50 yards receiving, and one of those catches came in the last game of the year. He was not used at all in terms of as a pass catcher. He was used as a blocker. But I was surprised they brought him back, to be honest with you. I was surprised that they brought him back. And maybe they will use him more on the goal line this year. Who knows? We'll see what they end up doing in the draft this year. But thank you very much, man. Christopher, you look like Lonzo Ball on this fine afternoon. I get Lonzo Ball all the time. I do, Bavith. I really do. Lonzo Ball, and the other one that I get is I get Beyonce, actually. I get Lonzo Ball and I get Beyonce a lot. I actually got Beyonce the other week. Vin, man, thank you very much, man. What hair product you use, my man? Need that. What's up, Vin? It's called a shower. And I put some random shampoo in my hair and I just go. I couldn't find my hat before the show, so that's why the hair's out and about. But I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. And Noah, man, thank you so much, man. Wish I could go to the tailgate. Ohio sucks. Well, we'll be streaming it, so at least you'll be able to watch, or at least I hope we'll be able to stream it, or at least show some kind of vlog, so you get to experience it a little bit. But yeah, man, I want to go to a road game too. I mean, I don't know if it'll be this year, but in the future, I've talked about that too. I want to be able to organize one road trip a year. Obviously, you won't be able to get as many people, but it'd be cool. Kind of like the 7-line army with the Mets. It would be cool to be able to have like 100 Giants fans go to a road game together. It's something I'd like to do as well in the future, man. And what's up, Rohan, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. Tainted Crazy Worm says, what's up, Worm? Yeah, I get Michael Vick, too. I get that one, too. It's Biggie says, I think the Giants will draft Gregory Rousseau. Gettleman loves developmental players. He drafted Thomas and Jones, both developmental players. Greg Rousseau doesn't look NFL ready. It's possible, especially if we sign Kenny Golladay. I think it definitely opens up the possibility of drafting a guy like Gregory Rousseau. We'll see. I mean, I'm not going to be shocked if they do it. It wouldn't be my first choice, but I wouldn't be shocked if they do it. He's clearly got upside. Guy's 6'7". So we'll see. Seth, man, thank you very much, man. I still need the Discord link. If any one of my members that of the Discord has the link, could you please drop it out? One of my mods, rather. If you're in the Discord, I don't know if Bigger Mike's in here or one of them. If not, I will make sure to have it in tonight's stream for you, Seth. Thank you very much, man. Aiden, man, thank you very much, man. Packers fans, I don't care who you're a fan of. If you're a fan of Entertainer, if you're a fan of Bad Dog, if you're a fan of New York Giants YouTube content creators, you're invited. And by the way, again, I want to give a quick shout out. Just try to do it. Listen, guys, they fund the channel. They help build the channel, man. I got to give them a shout out. And they're great. I love talking to him. I'm so happy that he's a partner of the channel. He's done a lot for me. He's going to continue to do a lot for me. And I'm so glad that he's going to be a part of building the channel. And hopefully we get a tailgate that he helps promote. So I'm looking forward to it. But that is the official sponsor of the channel, Faruqi and Faruqi Personal Injury Lawyers. And like I said, most Giant fans, they usually hurt themselves at least 2 or 3 times a year. I know I do. Last year I broke a beer bottle. I almost, broke my foot open. During the draft of Daniel Jones, I broke my headphone set. Almost went deaf from screaming. So if you hurt yourself watching a Giants game, you know who to go to. And Dylan, man, thank you very much, man. Jason Verrett, 49ers, 1 year, $5.5 million, $6.5 million for the pro. It's a good signing. It's a solid signing. That's a solid signing. You're starting to see more and more players go up the board. Where do we sign up to become a member? I should put the link. I don't know. I mean, usually I just tell people if you want to. I appreciate you for asking. Never feel the need to do it. If you go to the channel page, there should be like a join button, and then it's like a quick process. But I don't know if it's for a phone or I don't know, laptop. But there's a link I'll have it in the description from now on. I always forget to do that. But I appreciate you for being here, Allison. Thank you for being here. What's going on there, Bosch, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. I look like JJ Redick. I never get that. Like I said, I get Will Smith. I don't get JJ Redick. Let's see. Chris says we got Golladay, we draft Waddle, cut Shepard, maybe to get any free agent stragglers because of the market. Do we need 4 good receivers? If we get Golladay, we draft Waddle, cut Shepard. I don't think we're going to cut Shepard. I don't know what his dead cap hit is this year, but I don't think we're going to cut Shepard. I like Shepard. I see what you're getting at, but I don't think we're going to cut Shepard. It's why I don't think we're going to do. It's why I don't think if we get Golladay, we're going to draft a receiver in the first. I think they like Shepard. You got to remember, Gettleman gave Shepard the extension too. Shepard was good last year for the Giants. You just got to stay healthy. But I don't think we'll cut Shepard. I mean, we may cut him in the future, but I'm almost positive his dead cap hit is we'd only save like $2 million. Like I think he's making like $9 million this year, and he's like a $6 or $7 million dead hit. I don't see it at all. And Trevor, man, thank you very much, man. Look out for Ola. Yeah, that's the edge rusher from Georgia, I think. He's been moving up mock charts. Super athletic, maybe. I just can't wait till the draft gets closer. But it's why I haven't done a ton of draft content yet, because I don't know what we need yet. I have to see what we do in free agency, but I'm so excited for free agency to be done with, or at least free agency to be done with leading up into the draft, so I know our needs going in. I want to know who we lose, and I want to know who we bring in, and then I'll be able to have a better idea of what the New York Giants are going to do in the first 3-4 rounds. But Olajari's definitely got to keep your eye on as a potential edge rusher. I don't think at 11, though. If we were going to get him, I think we would trade down. Dylan, man, thank you very much, man. There's another small. Dylan is keeping you updated. Where's the Jet signings, Dylan? You guys are supposed to be making all the signings, but there's another sign. Houston's getting a lot of cheap signings, which a little weird. I think I'd wait for those cheap signings till later in the process, but it is what it is. And thank you so much, Allison. I guess you figured it out. Stand up, new member. Welcome to the squad, Allison. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And what do we got? Robert, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He said, here's $5. Here's an Abe Lincoln, man. I enjoy your channel. There you go. Well, I appreciate that, man. You got nice shades, Robert. What is that? You got nice shades on there. I like your getup, too. Thank you, Robert, man. I appreciate it, my man. And let's see what we got. Bryce, man, thank you very much. Let me just make sure I didn't skip anybody. I didn't. He says, did you hear Hunter from the Vikings is thinking of requesting for a trade because he doesn't like his contract? Yes, I did hear it. I think 2 other people have told me about it. Let me look. Now that a lot of people seem to be interested in maybe inquiring about him. I'm curious to see his contract. Let me take a quick look. Hunter this year, he signed a big extension, 5 years, $72 million, and he's under contract through 2023. He's got a $17.7 million hit this year. Now I don't know, with guarantees, maybe we wouldn't have to pay that. But he's a $17.75 million hit this year, $17 million the year after that, and $14 million the year after that. In terms of his base salary, he's got a $12.15 with a $100,000 workout, $2 million restructure, whatever. Maybe he's due to make a lot of money. I don't know about that, man. You'd have to take on that salary, and you'd have to give away draft compensation when you could go out there and the free agent market is flooded for guys that you could probably get much cheaper than that salary. I mean, that's 17.75 is a lot of money. He's really good though. Don't get me wrong. He's really good. And Max, man, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I just want to make sure I didn't skip anybody. I don't think I did. He says, where's all the news? Slowest free agency in a while. There's minor signings, but like I said, I kind of expected this, Mac. I did. I kind of expected this to start out. I didn't think everybody was going to rush to the table because it's such a weird free agency period. I think teams are going to let the market settle. I think they're going to try to get players for the appropriate price. So I'm not surprised. And I don't think this market's going to start to really pick up until you start to see the big names drop. And then when the big names drop, then the medium tier free agents will sign and so on and so forth. But they need the Kenny Galladays of the world to set the market. Obviously, Shaq Barrett's the biggest name, but he re-signed with his former team. Bryce, man, thank you very much, man. JPA Football said, okay. Yeah, I've seen him on Twitter. I don't know how credible he is, but I've seen him on Twitter a few times. Do I follow him? I'm not even sure, but I've definitely seen some of his tweets. He posts a lot of rumors. Ada, man, thank you very much, man. Hunter, fastest to 50 sacks ever. He's really good. He's really good. Matter of fact, let me look at his how old is he? He's gonna be 27 next year, so he's still pretty young. Yeah, he had 14 and a half sacks in 2019, 14 and a half sacks the year before that, and he didn't play this year. But yeah, he's really good. He's a really good player, man. I don't know. It's hard. It's impossible for me. Any facts out there are just rumors. Tim, as far as the Giants goes, I haven't heard anything. Not yet. And I don't think we're going to hear much yet. I think they're going to let the market develop. But you never know. maybe we meet with Golladay today and they get a deal done. I think that's the one guy, if they're going to spend big early, I think that would be the guy. Because there's going to be other teams interested in. If you're going to sign Kenny Golladay, you're going to more than likely going to have to get that done relatively early, being that he is the best wide receiver available. So, but if we don't get him, I don't expect the Giants to go out there and rush. I mean, maybe Tomlinson, that would be the other guy. They would rush to try to get that done before the teams offer him a ridiculous contract. Prison Mike, man, thoughts on Trey Hendrickson? Yeah, he's with the Saints, right? The thing with Hendrickson I think he had like 10 sacks last year, but the thing with him, I don't know how good of a fit he is, man. I just don't. That's a 4-3 defense over there, if I'm not mistaken. He's not really capable of playing off the edge in a 3-4. I don't know how good of a fit he is for our scheme. So that's my contention with that. But yeah, he had a good year last year, but I don't know how good of a fit he is for this team. And this scheme, you want to bring in guys that fit the scheme. I don't know if he's necessarily the ideal fit. Hey, Chris, I've been on StreamYard before, but I would love to talk again sometime. You the man. I appreciate that, Benjamin, man. Thank you so much for being here, man. But let's see. What's up, Chris? I'm sorry to hear that, man. Mom got COVID, so I go to school early. What are your thoughts on Galladay's rep? Hopefully she's okay. What are your thoughts on Galladay's reps meeting with the New York Giants and Smith to New England? I think the Smith to New England's a good signing. I thought that's about what he'd go for, $12.5 million on a 4-year deal. He's the best tight end available. So I think that's a fair deal. I think the Patriots obviously could use a weapon. And knowing their track record with tight ends, he'll probably do well there. And Cam Newton's track record with tight ends. You saw what happened with Greg Olsen. So I think that he'll be used heavily in that offense. As far as the Giants go and Golladay, yeah, I heard about it. It's kind of hard to have thoughts on it right now. I guess I'm excited that they're at least potentially showing some interest. But like I've said all along, to me, I always thought the Giants were going to show interest if they were able to free up enough cap space and felt like that they could fit him in the budget. They showed interest in season this year. They tried to trade for him. So I'm not surprised by that. What may surprise me a little bit is if Golladay shows interest back. Because I was always under the assumption that either A, Golladay was going to – first off, I thought Golladay was always going to be tagged. And if we were ever going to be able to get him, we'd have to trade for him. He wasn't tagged. So that was my first thought process. But if he ever hit the open market, I thought that he'd potentially probably want to go to a better football team, a team that's more in contention to win a Super Bowl. But maybe not. He does fit the scheme well. And maybe the New York Giants could sell him on that. So we'll see. We'll see. Washington wants Mitch. Really? I'll tell you what, a lot of people rag on Mitch Trubisky. And Mitch Trubisky's not that good of a quarterback. Might not be the worst idea in the world. Because if you get Mitch, if it's a cheap contract and they have cap space to spend, and you sign to a 1 or 2 year deal, it doesn't force you to take a quarterback at 20. He's definitely an upgrade of what they have now. Everybody rags on Mitch, and he's not near worth the pick. He's not a franchise quarterback, but he's a guy, the Bears won 11-5 with him. He actually was pretty good in his second year in the NFL. I don't love Mitch at all. And I'll be happy as a Giants fan if that's ultimately who Washington ends up with. He doesn't scare me, but he's not a horrible stopgap quarterback. Dylan, man, thank you very much, man. There you go. Panther. There's another signing at 3 years, $13.5 million. He's breaking it. Dylan, man, I appreciate it, my man. So we're seeing a lot of small signings. I think Giants fans are waiting for the big shoes to drop, but seeing a lot of small signings so far. What's going on there, Hazelnut, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, my man. But there you go. Panthers sign a free agent. Bryce, man, thank you very much. Did you hear Washington is interested in? Yeah, somebody just said that. That's another bum for Bradbury to pick off twice a year if he goes there. Listen, he ain't gonna scare me at all. It might be their best option though at this point in time. It really might. Otherwise, they're gonna be starting a rookie. It really might be their best option. Is a guy like Mr. Trubisky. But yeah, he doesn't scare me. Let's put it this way: if they get Mr. Trubisky, I'm not gonna all of a sudden think that the Washington football team is the favorites in this division. Let's put it that way. Michael, man, thank you very much, man. Cornerback market is cheap for Ed. Yeah, I just saw that. That's what I think the Giants are going to sign a corner. I think they'll let it play out and they'll pick the guy that they want. But the biggest reason, if the Golladay rumors are true, the biggest reason why the Giants, even more so, have not signed anybody yet, they probably want to see if they could sign Golladay and then act accordingly off of that if they're able to get Golladay. So if the Giants are truly interested in Golladay, my guess would be you're not going to see any major signings by the Giants until such time Golladay signs somewhere, or until such time he blows off the New York Giants, if the Giants have legitimate interest in Kenny Golladay. So we'll see. We'll see. Tana, I wonder if it's an organizational decision what's up, Johnny, by the way, man? Great supporter of mine. To not value paying big money to Dalvin Tomlinson. They've let draft picks like Linval Joseph and Hankins walk, and now maybe Tomlinson. Johnny, I love Dalvin Tomlinson. I think he's a great player, and I would be happy if he's back. But by the same token, I got to be fair. I'd understand if they didn't bring him back. And I love Dalvin Tomlinson. He's a leader. He's a captain. I think he's replaceable. I look at this roster right now. I look at Dexter. If you bring back Leonard Williams, I look at Dexter Lawrence. I look at B.J. Hill, and I think you'd be able to draft an interior defensive lineman in the second or third round. And if he's going to get $13 or $14 million in a 4 or 5 year deal, I can't kill the Giants for that. I just can't. And I'd love him back. I would love him back. Unfortunately, it's the salary cap. There's casualties. And Septic Man, thank you very much. What do you think of Bud Dupree? I don't want him. Unless you get him for like next to very little and a small commitment in terms of years. I don't want him. The guy's coming off an ACL tear. We don't know what he is. Not to mention, like everybody, and I like Bud Dupree, and I would have been in on Bud Dupree had he not gotten hurt. I think he does fit our scheme very well. The guy plays opposite TJ Watt. He literally plays opposite the best defensive player in football, and he's coming off an ACL tear. He comes to the Giants. Now he's playing opposite O'Shane Ximines. I mean, come on. So you don't know what you're getting with Bud Dupree. So I am not. But Saquon's already on the team. I see amazing guys said that Saquon tore his ACL. Saquon's already under contract. It's not like the Giants are voluntarily going to. Would I be in favor of signing Saquon right now if he had no ties to the New York Giants? No, I would not. He's already under contract. What you're proposing is let's go out there, let's sign a guy to a 4-year deal coming off an ACL tear, a guy that played opposite of the best defensive player in football in a great surrounding defense there in Pittsburgh, the best defense in football. Let's go out there and sign him to a 4-year No, I'm not in favor of that. I know he's a name. I know he's a flashy toy. I'm not in favor of it. GPB, man, thank you so much, man. Grow, Press, Bake. He says, we got Golladay. Check Twitter. Hold on. 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 I'm going to check. If somebody paid $5 for that, it's worth checking. So hold on. Latest. Giants meeting with Kenny Golladay. The New York Giants have around the NFL, and that looks like a fake account to me. It's only got 5 likes. I'm not going to believe that. It's got 5. Anything with 5 likes, I'm not believing. If it's legitimate, it's going to have hundreds of likes. I don't see anything. It's possible you may have been duped by a fake account. If anybody sees it, let me know. If anybody sees it, let me know. But I, as of now, do not see that. And I just want to make sure. Bear Man, thank you very much, man. He says, are you familiar with any wide receiver in the draft besides the main 3? I feel we could take a wide receiver in the second. Yeah, there's plenty of good wide receivers in this draft. Rondell Moore, if he's there in the second round, could be a guy. Obviously, the Tony from Florida is a guy I really like. I don't think he'll be there. Bateman's definitely not getting to the second round. The St. Brown, there's good wide receivers in this draft. It's a deep wide receiver draft class. Marco, man, thank you very much, man. Something the dummy from Germany asked himself for a long time. Is there a rule how much money a draft pick gets? Like 1 pick, 10, 11 pick, 3. Oh, yeah, there is, Marco. There's a rookie pay scale. It's very possible he wasn't lying, by the way. He might have legitimately thought that it was real. There's tons of lies on Twitter, so I'm not going to get mad at him for that. I don't think he was trying to be a troll. He could have very well thought it was real, but to me, it doesn't look like it's legitimate. So don't get your hopes up, Giants fans. As far as that goes, yes, there's a rookie pay scale. And that's one thing that, Giants fans all the time, they ask me on Twitter, and I see them ask other people. I don't know how the Giants cap is what it is. a big part of the reason why the Giants, and there's other reasons, believe me, the Solder contract, the Golden Tate contract, we had to eat $4 million, the Sterling Shepard contract. But a major reason why the Giants cap is what it is because we've been picking as early as we have been in the draft. When you pick as early as the Giants have been picking, those guys get paid a lot, and they get paid a lot fast. Saquon Barkley's making $10 million this year. Daniel Jones making $7 million this year. Andrew Thomas making $7.5 million this year. So when you're picking top 3, top 4, top 5, top 6, those guys get paid a ton. Andrew Thomas is going to get like $10 million the year after. So we're paying those guys a lot of money because they were picked higher in the draft. So in a way, it's almost beneficial at times, especially if you're not picking a quarterback, to be picking 10, 11. Mekhi Becton last year, to put it in perspective, I think got about $3 to $3.5 million by the Jets as the 11th pick, which is where we're picking this year. Thomas got almost double that. So, yeah, that's a big reason why the cap is what it is. We've been picking as early as we have been. What's up, Jared, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, my man. And I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody else. Hold on one second. I don't like to miss people. I got Dylan, and I already got Marco. Okay, let's get Dylan now. Dylan, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. And it was, there it is. I'll DM on Twitter for every signing. No more money. You don't got to donate, man. I appreciate you for keeping me updated, man. I really do. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it, my man. And, yeah, I'll definitely try to check out Twitter every now and again. Obviously, I can't do it that much during the stream, but I appreciate it. 3 years, $48 million with the Giants. It's fake. I think it's fake. If it was real, listen, guys, here's what I'm going to say. For anybody that's looking on Twitter for news, anybody that's looking on Twitter for news, anybody that's looking on YouTube for news, I say it all the time. Whether it's a YouTuber, whether it's a guy on Instagram, whether it's on Twitter, you can have fun, but take it with a grain of salt unless the news is coming from a guy with credentials. You know, if a guy on Instagram is telling you he's got insider information, does he really? I mean, I could easily come on here and say I have insider information. So if you take it from guys like Adam Schefter, take it from guys like Ian Rappaport, don't take it from Joe Schmo. Okay? That's my advice there. Until such time Ian Rappaport and Adam Schefter break the news and tell you that Kenny Golladay is a New York Giant, don't buy into it. But thank you to everybody for being here, man. I appreciate it, man. What's up there, Tyler, man? Thanks. Yeah, Judon to New England. So that was rumored earlier. That was rumored earlier that was close. So now that has happened. What's the contract? What's the contract? Rush, yeah, the tweet I saw, though, it said per Dan Graziano, but it had like 5 likes. So anybody could write per Dan Graziano, and then you check Dan Graziano, and he didn't say it. What's the contract for Judon? What's going on there, Brandon, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, my man. Judon to the Pats. Listen, if it's for the right money, it's a good signing. Judon fits that scheme very well, but obviously Judon last year wasn't very good. And obviously the Ravens didn't think very highly of him. They franchise tagged him the year before, and he wasn't very good last year. So I think they let him and Yannick go this year. So Judon to the Pats, I do think 4 years, $48 million. It's not that bad. I mean, when you see what the guy in the Lions got, he got more than that on a per-year basis. I mean, it was 3 years, but he got 13 a year. It's not that bad. It's not a bad contract by the Patriots. And I'm sure that they'll structure it in a way that they could get out after 2 or 3 years. It's not that bad. Darian, man, thanks so much, man. Giants reportedly exploring edge in free agency. Is that something new? 4 years. Oh, it's 4 years, 56. That's a little different. I saw 4 years, 48. So it's $2 more million a year. And it's approaching where I may not want him, but it's probably around what I expected, $12 to $14 million a year. Giants reportedly exploring edge in free agency. Is that something new, or is that what I heard before the stream started? But thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. $32 million over 2 years. So they'll probably cut him after 2 years. It's a 2-year commitment. It sounds like it's similar to the Watt contract. Watt's about a $32 million commitment over 2 years, and then they're going to get rid of him. It's probably something similar to there with Judon, where they have the ability to get out of it. Deception, man. Thank you very much, man. With the attitude and competitiveness Judge brings to the Giants, I would love to see our old 80s uniforms return. I've been saying that forever, man. You know, and it's funny. You know, I say it all the time. Like when the Giants switched to the new uniform with the new helmet with the NY, I loved it as a kid, and now I crave the old uniform. I crave the Giants across the side. My favorite uniform that we have is the Color Rush, And maybe it's just because I like the retro look. I don't know, but I'm with you. I like that look. I like the red, white, and blue armband here. I like the old Giants uniform. Maybe you want to put a new spin to it, but people ask me that all the time. I'm not a huge uniform guy. I don't really care. But if I had a choice, I would probably have a little new age flair to it. But I would try to mimic the older uniform. I like it more than the current one. Dylan, man, thank you very much, man. Matt Judon Pats, 4 years, $56 million, 32 over the first 2 years. So there you go. So it's basically a 2-year, $16 million a year contract. And my guess would be after that, they could probably get out of it with little hit. But that's a pretty good lump sum. But you know what? We'll see. The Patriots have made good free agency signings in the past. And if there's one team that can get the most out of their players, it's them. And they don't tend to overspend in free agency. They usually make good decisions. Not so much in the draft. The drafts have been horrible as of late. But we'll see. We'll see if it's worth it. Patriots also made a trade. They got back their old offensive lineman too. So Belichick ain't giving up. It looks like Belichick is looking at what Brady did last year, and he's like, nah, screw this. Screw this. I'm going all in. Oh, I want a shot at him. That, I'll tell you what, that would be a great storyline. Imagine it, and obviously as a Giants fan, I want the Giants to make the Super Bowl, but imagine Belichick versus Brady next year's Super Bowl. Not that I expected. Ada, man, thank you very much, man. He says, hey, man, did you get a chance to send my – No, I'm going to do it, though. I keep saying I'm going to do it. I've been so busy I am going to do it. I promise you I'm going to do it. I got the address. I'm going to send it out. I will absolutely send it out. I got to pick out which one I'm going to give you. But, yes, I will be sending out to Herbert. What's going on there, Travy, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. Matter of fact, I'll probably – if I have time today, I'll probably do it. But I got to do the Knicks game tonight. If not today, I'll do it tomorrow. Let's see what we got here. Brown, Curtis Samuel, Trey Turner, let Leo walk, Russ says. Chris, if Mitch goes to the Washington football team, where do you rank the NFC East quarterbacks? What do you mean in terms of skill? Where would I rank them? What's up, Tommy, man? Thanks for popping the stream. What's going on in Afghanistan? I mean, you gotta have Dak one. Dak's one. And after that, I'd have Jones too. What has Mitch done? I'd have Jones too. I'd have Dak 1 and I'd have Jones 2. I'd have Mitch 3 and I'd have Hurts 4. Hurts sucks. I saw enough of him in that last game of the season. I'd have Hurts 4. I'd have Jones 2. That would be my order right now going into next year. What's going on there, NFL experts, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, my man. What's going on there? Saw a slump, man. What's going on, my man? What do you think about drafting Bateman and signing Samuel? I don't want to draft Bateman at 11. I don't want to draft Bateman at 11. What do you think ultimately happens with Dante Pettis? What's going on there, Tago Boo? Did I just see the Giants are looking at Mariota? I hope not. And if they are, it better be for very little money. As far as Dante Pettis, he's already under contract. Dante Pettis is making okay, Dylan, I'll check it, man. He's already under contract. He's only making $1 million this year. So Dante Pettis will be on this roster. He'll be a depth wide receiver. So let me pull up the tweet right here for you. I'll take a look. Let me see what you sent me. Did you at me? I don't want you to donate again. Did you at me or did you? Because I don't see it in my messages. I have so many messages right now. It's hard for me. If you're gonna send me something, send me a direct message. Because I see Baruch sent me something. I see Chase sent me something. I see James sent me something. Johnny sent me something. But I don't see anything from anybody else. But I appreciate it, Dylan, man. Thank you very much, man. And Michael, man, thank you very much. He says, Pats got their stimulus checks early. Yeah, they did. I was saying earlier, somebody said in the chat, I said, oh, all the Giants fans, just donate your stimulus checks and let's get Kenny Golladay. That'll work. But thank you very much, man. Judon got 4 years. Yeah, I know. I heard about that, Mook, man. But let me take a quick look at Twitter while I got a chance, man. Let me see if I can get any updates for you guys. All right, now I think I got something. Somebody sent a photo of a cartoon character. Okay. But let me take a quick look at see if any of the insiders are saying anything real quick now that I got an opportunity. Let's take a look at Jordan Renan. Let's see what he's saying. Obviously, he's Giant specific. The last tweet he sent was 44 minutes ago. He says, how about we try a Giants after dark tonight at 8:30? Nothing to do with anything. Teams are racing to lock up their own pass rushers. Leonard Floyd is the one to watch now. Heard the Rams would like to have him back. So that's his latest tweet. So nothing that I see in terms of from credible sources on the Giants front. Pat's got Jalen. Pats are getting aggressive, man. And you got it, Byron, man. Thanks for being here, buddy. Wow, the Pats are signing everybody early on, man. They ain't messing around, dude. Pats are getting aggressive. Sorry about the fake news. No, don't listen, man. I knew that's what it was. I know you're not going to donate $5 to be a troll. I knew you weren't trolling me. It happens all the time on Twitter. I understand. And the girl talks. Go check her out, by the way. Thank you for popping in. I was on her channel like last week. She says, with all these signings, does this put the Patriots back in front of the AFCs? I'm still going to say no. But it definitely puts them in contention. And it makes the division more interesting. I'd still put the Bills as the favorite, but they may be second. They may jump the Dolphins. I could easily see them jumping the Dolphins. A lot of that depends on what Tua is this year and what Newton could be for the Patriots. But I could definitely see the Patriots being a playoff team. I'd still have to have the Bills above them, though. I think the Bills are really good, but you never know. I mean, who knows? It's Bill Belichick. It's the Patriots. They're also getting pieces back. A lot of their defense sat out due to the pandemic, so maybe. But I'd still have the Bills as the favorite. Oh, I love these guys. I love these guys. Fake Mets fan. Fake entertainer supporter. They just do that to get rises out of me, but you're not going to get them anymore. But I appreciate you being here. Now you're blocked from the channel. Now what you could do is you could go back on your next account. You could come in. We'll block you again. We'll just get out of the way. Get your 7 accounts in here now because you're a loser. You probably have 7 because you troll everybody. And just come in. We'll just block them all. Go ahead. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. What's going on there, Brownie, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. Stephen says, is Sam Beal still on the roster? Yes, he is. I tried to DM you, but it says you can't be messaged. Oh, you got to be. Maybe I don't follow you, Dylan. What's your name on Twitter? At me on Twitter, and I'll try to follow you. At me on Twitter, and I'll try to follow you. I'll do it after the stream, but definitely at me on Twitter. It's hard for me to look at Twitter while I'm doing this. Jalen Mills to New England, 4 years, $24 million. Yeah, I just heard about that. New England's signing a ton of people right now. Ton of people. So that's another defensive back as they continue to set the market. Tana, you are the man. Love your work on YouTube, brother. I appreciate that. I hope I pronounced this right. Cheyenne, man. Thank you so much for being a great supporter. Mills for 9 million. What's up there, Moose, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, my man. Kelly says, gentleman just woke up from his nap. Gentleman was he was on Microsoft Windows. He was on Microsoft Windows. He was trying to look over his binders. Remember the binders picture last year? Gettleman's out like his old 1987 Dell computer, looking over his binders like this, trying to do research on the draft. That's Gettleman right now. And Frank, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, Patriots got their stimulus check before the rest of the NFL. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. And Watch Medicine, man, thank you very much, man. Leonard Williams must be cursing with the D-line market. Yeah, he ain't getting near. What he was trying to get. He ain't getting near what he was trying to get. They'd be silly to do it, man. And but thank you again, man, Frank, man, for being such a great supporter. But yeah, I think they did. And I said earlier, I think we need to start giving our stimulus checks to the Giants. Breaking news, I just got signed by New England. 4 years, $67 million. Well, Zany, you know what, man? I thought you'd get more than that, to be honest. I thought you were going to get at least 6 years, $100 million. So you kind of settled, man. I get it, though. You want to play for Belichick. Let's see what we got here. Mike Garafolo, Urban Meyer, and the Jaguars are on board. They've agreed with former Bears defensive tackle. There you go. All right, there's a signing. There you go. Starting to get some signings. Nothing from the Giants yet. Christopher says, Tana, always a good listen. Be well, brother. I appreciate that, Christopher, man. Thank you so much for being here, my man. Yeah, Zany got robbed, dude. Jets have interest in Trey Hendrickson. Interesting. That's a name that a lot of people have talked about, potentially to the Giants. I don't think he fits our scheme that well, but The Jets, they're going to be able to sign a lot of people. They got more money than most teams. Ash Money, man, thanks so much, man. When's the meeting with Golladay? I don't know. It's just what I heard from several people on Twitter, people that I trust, that they said that they saw it on TV that Schefter said it. So in terms of the time, I don't know. And that doesn't mean, by the way, for all we know, he's got meetings lined up with 10 different teams via Zoom. You know what I'm saying? So don't read too much into it. Just know that if it's accurate, that the Giants are showing some interest. Doesn't mean he's coming here. True Apples, man. Thanks so much, man. Dave has to put the applesauce down and get to work. Cheyenne, man, thank you very much, man. Leonard Williams should be equal or lower than $16 million. Anything more than that is overpaying. I mean, I understand where you're coming from, especially after seeing what Shaq Barrett got. To be fair, I personally think Barrett took less than what he was worth because he wanted to try to compete and win another Super Bowl. I think he could have got at least 20 or 21. But I listen, I'm not approaching the 21 territory now with him. I think his market is probably 18 or 19 a year. I think that's what he's probably worth, but you're only worth what other teams could give you. So there may not be teams out there willing to give him $19 million a year, especially after what Barrett signed for. So we'll see. But he's definitely not worth 21, 22, 23. And I don't think the New York Giants are going to cave and give him that. I never thought they would give him that much. Max, man, thank you very much. And I'll take a contract, 4 years, $1 million. Sign me to the Pats, Max. I'll take 4 years. As long as I don't got to play, Max, if I'm like if I could do, you know what, like, what's his name? The third string quarterback. Why does it escape me right now? The guy that the Giants just cut, the guy that made Daniel Jones Thanksgiving dinner. What's his name? Why does it escape me? Wow. Somebody's going to say in the chat. But if I could be a clipboard holder, give me 4 years, $150,000. And I'll do it. Max. Thank you very much. Tanny. Yeah, Alex Tanny. There you go. Kyle, man, thank you very much, man. Patriots just signed me $100 million and a kiss from Belichick's dog. There you go, Kyle. Maybe that'll bring you some good luck. Maybe that's how the Patriots get the most out of their players. But thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. And Justin, I want to make sure I see this because for some reason, and Justin, man, I really appreciate the $5 super sticker. Thank you so much. Keep it up. Thank you very much, man. Dylan says Jalen Mills, Pats, 4 years, $24 million. What the blank, Phil? Jets fans starting to get worried, Dylan. You guys starting to get worried over there. The Patriots are signing everybody underneath the sun. The Jets better get to work. I'll tell you what, if you get Tooney, though, that'll be a big get for you guys. A lot of people started to bring up him to the Giants. I haven't heard anything other than I think Bangle did a video on it. That's what I heard from my subscribers, but I haven't heard anything in terms of real insiders talking about the Giants have interest. I'd be surprised. I don't think the Giants are going to spend big on a linebacker, but maybe. I think they have other holes to fill in free agency. Let's see what we got. What's up, Tana? Been a while. Glad to see you here, Top Gun, man. How you doing, my man? They already re-signed him, Angel. They re-signed him long time. Yesterday, that came out. I think it was 4 years, $48 million. Just got back from school. What did I miss? Nothing with the Giants. There's been some high-profile signings. Janu Smith signed. Shaq Barrett signed. Back with the Bucks. There's been a couple of other pretty solid signings. Nothing huge outside of those guys for the most part so far. A couple of corners have signed. Verrett signed with the Niners, so that market's starting to develop. But nothing major outside of Shaq Barrett returning with the Bucks and Janu Smith going to the Patriots. I think those are the two. Oh, no, there was another one. Okwara signed with the Lions. And, Judon. Judon signed with the Patriots. Matt Judon from the Ravens, and it was $32 million over the first 2 years. I think it was about $16 million a year on average, or $15 million a year on average, but or 14 maybe. But it was $32 million over the first 2 years. Watch Medicine, man. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, I hear Belichick went on a spending spree with Robert Kraft, went to get a massage. Well, you know what? Watch Medicine. He better spend it as quick as he can because Robert Kraft probably spends a lot on those massages. We know that he gets a couple of happy endings. Donovan, man, thank you very much, man. Wouldn't surprise me if the Pats stole Golladay. I don't see it. How do they have it in the budget? I don't see. I mean, they just signed like 4 different players. I don't see that. I could see the Dolphins signing him. I could see the Jets signing him. I don't think the Pats will. Dylan, Roy Robertson Harris, 3 years, $24 million, $14 million guaranteed. He's keeping you updated. Dylan, man, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. Let's see. I thought I missed somebody. I just want to make sure I don't miss anybody. No, I think I got Donovan. Just in case I didn't. He says, I read that. Wouldn't surprise me if they stole Golladay. Thank you to everybody for being here once again, though, man. I really appreciate it. No, they didn't sign him yet, Evan. They might, but they have not signed him yet. Jets saving for Watson, maybe. It's possible. The Jets definitely, they got the cap space to do it. There's a number of teams that do as well. Panthers, there's been words from a lot of teams. I still think Watson's getting traded. I don't care what the Texans say. I still think Watson's getting traded. And the longer they wait, the less they're going to get. Why would you bring him back if he's not going to play? I still think Watson's getting traded. Nate, man, thanks so much. And KP's in the chat. What's going on, KP? Happy birthday, my man. Thanks for being here, buddy. Nate says, am I the only one who wants Leonard Williams gone after his delusional salary demands? Seems like he doesn't care for us at all. I know it's a business, but I don't know, man. Oh, no, I definitely don't think you're the only one. Believe me, I definitely don't think you're the only one. I would think a lot of Giants fans feel. I should say most. There's definitely a large portion of Giants fans that are sick of Leonard Williams and his contract demands. I don't think you're alone. That's for damn sure. So I understand where you're coming from. If it's true, and again, maybe it's not. Maybe Leonard Williams is going to end up ultimately signing for $19 million a year for 4 years, which at that point, I don't think you'd be too upset as a Giants fan. But if he's demanding $22, $23 million a year, yeah, I think you have a right. I think you have a right to be pissed off. I'm a guy that wants Leonard Williams back. I'm getting pissed off about it. I mean, know your value. I understand trying to get as much as you can, and if a team gives it to him, God bless him. But he ain't worth that. He ain't worth $23 million a year. He's not. And Adam, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, what are the odds we get Kenny? Would you like him here? Yes. Yes, I would like him here. Yes. I worry about other holes on the team, but yes, I would like him here, especially if it's for the reported price that I think Ian Rappaport said. Somebody said in the chat earlier, $14 to $16 million a year. Yes, I would like him here. We need a receiver, and I think he fits the scheme very well. Crispy says, I want Williams to get the hell out of New York. Trade him. Don't waste $20+ million on a guy. Get Golladay. I don't even think he's even good enough for us to waste $18 million a year. I see where you're coming from when you see Barrett get $18 million. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. I don't think they're going to – I still think they're going to work out a deal. But it better not be in the $21, $22 million range. I'll tell you that right now. Could you trade Leo to the Titans for the 22nd pick based on Ngakoue market last year? Vera Tucker, Horn, and Kwity Paye might be there. I would say no. And that's not to say that he may not have equal value to what Yannick had last year, because I think he does. Yannick ended up getting a second and a fifth, and it came much later in the process. But I think this market, he's worth less than what Yannick was last year, or at least equal, because teams have less to spend. So you have to take on that $19 million. So I think it's going to be harder to find a trade partner as well, especially if it's under the tag. So I don't think we'd get a first-round pick for Leonard Williams. I think it's possible we could get a second. I don't think you get a first. Yeah, I know about Matt Judon of the Pats, which he fits the scheme. It is what it is. Biggest key to success this year. Love your videos, man. Keep up the good work. I appreciate that, Jack. The biggest key to success this year, I mean, quite simply, it's Daniel Jones. It's the offense progressing, but it's Daniel Jones. But there's a lot of factors that go into it. It's not just Daniel Jones. It's the offense around him. It's the play calling. It's the offense needs to take a major jump. That's the biggest key to success. Our defense was as good as it was with no help. We had the 31st best offense last year, 31st in the red zone. We couldn't throw the ball. We couldn't get anything going. And it starts at the point of attack, the offensive line. I say it all the time. We saw it in the Super Bowl. You could have the greatest quarterback in the world. You could have Tyreek Hill. You could have Travis Kelce. If you can't block, you're not going to get it done. The offensive line needs to take a big step forward. That, to me, is the biggest key into next year. That offensive line needs to perform. They need to improve. They need to become close to league average for a full year. It was encouraging. They got better over the second half, even though they definitely had a speed bump against the Arizona Cardinals. We need to see them grow off of that. To me, that's the biggest key. But obviously, it all goes back to Daniel Jones progressing as a quarterback. Adam, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Yes, technically, it doesn't start till the 17th. Like, they can't sign until the 17th, but there's agreements today. And then they sign on the 17th. But yes, you start to hear news today. Adam, man, thank you very much, man. I think we should trade Leo and sign Reddick and Kenny. If you could trade them, I wouldn't be against that. If you're able to get that done, wouldn't be against it, depending on what the price would be. Yeah, we need the Hogs, Joel. Need the Hogs, my man. Let's see. If you could choose one wide receiver between Golladay, Smith, and Chase and Waddle, who would you choose? I think I'd go with Waddle. I would go with Chase, actually. I would go with Chase. I think Chase is the best wide receiver. I'm a big Waddle fan, though. You know that, Ian, if you watch my channel. I like Waddle a lot. I actually have Waddle as the second best wide receiver in this draft. A lot of people have Devontae Smith, but I have Chase as the number one. So I would choose Chase out of the big three, and I would choose him over Golladay as well. But I do think by signing Golladay, it gives you freedom to do more things in the first round. Yes, I did. I did see the Hunter news, Gio. A couple people brought that up earlier. Depends on what the price would be. But he makes a lot of money. You got to factor that in as well. You got to take on that contract. And supposedly, the main reason he's asking for a trade is because he's not happy with the contract. Well, he's due to make, at least against the cap, he carries a $17 million hit this year, and I think 17.5 the year after that. So you got to factor that in as well. You got to be able to take on that contract. And we have limited cap space as is. Limited draft picks rather as is. I'd sooner sign somebody. Ronan gave a list of players that we're interested in. Did you see that? Yes, I did. But who knows? Who knows how accurate that is? And they were all over the map. Some of them were really high-profile players like Bud Dupree and Kenny Golladay, and others were like, back into the roster guys. But yeah, we'll see. We'll start to hear more rumors. Haven't heard a ton of rumors with the Giants this year because I think we've heard less rumors this offseason than last offseason, mainly due to the fact that we have two huge pending free agents of our own. So that's kind of where I think the Giants' focus has been at, as opposed to last year when we didn't really have any big pending free agents that we had to worry about. So I think that's why there's been less rumors. Like last year, you heard rumors about Martinez a week before, legitimate rumors. You heard rumors about Bradbury as well. We haven't heard nearly as many this year. And I think a big part of that has to do with Dalvin Tomlinson and Leonard Williams. How much you willing to pay Curtis Samuel, Corey Davis? 10 a year, no more than 11, but around 10. Terrence, man, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. He says, what's up, Dana? I think we should get our lineman edge in free agency and get Waddle first round, Bateman second. I don't think Bateman's going to be there in the second. I'd be shocked. I don't think Bateman's going to be there in the second. Waddle in the first? Yeah, I like Waddle. I'd be ecstatic with Waddle. And I've said, leading up into the process, and I still may feel this way even with Golladay available. But Golladay definitely piqued my interest. I'm not going to lie about that. But I was always under the assumption we weren't going to get Golladay. So my thought process going into free agency was to fill in the holes on this team. I would sooner sign a corner in free agency, get a guard, and maybe get like a depth wide receiver. Try to get Gallman back on a really cheap price, things like that. But I would attack guard and corner in free agency if you're not going to get a top-end wide receiver, and attack wide receiver in the first round, and maybe get an edge rusher as well. If you could get one like a guy like Van Noy or someone like that for a cost-effective price, something like that, I'd fill in the other holes and then attack wide receiver in the draft. AP, man, thank you very much, man. Praying Chase goes into the combine built like Kelvin Benjamin. I think a lot of Giants fans are. Yeah, that came out a while ago, mister. That came out like 20 minutes ago, but maybe now they're saying it's like completely official. What do you think the odds are on Golladay? It's hard for me to, I'd give us at least a 20-25% chance. I think that there's a chance. I don't know if I'd call us the favorites. But the thing that's funny about Golladay, man, and maybe there's been other teams. I haven't heard much news about him outside of the Giants. Now I cover the Giants, so obviously I'm going to hear about any little thing about the Giants, but haven't really heard much, in terms of other teams being potentially, and I'm sure there are teams interested, but haven't really heard much else. So I don't know, man. Yeah, Judon to the Pats I know about. Who's going to be our backup halfback? What's going on, Moose? Love Moose. Great supporter of the channel. Glad to see you, buddy. Backup halfback right now is obviously Gallman if he's back, and I still think he could be. You know, if you would have asked me like 2 months ago, I said no chance. But then when I looked at the market and I looked at the running backs available, I think it's possible we get Gallman back on a really cheap deal. But if not him, there's so many halfbacks available that you're going to be able to bring in. There's going to be somebody that they'll be able to bring in at a pretty cheap price. The name, I don't know. They're going to get somebody that's decent, though. And they're going to be pretty affordable because teams don't have a lot of money to spend on running backs. So they'll be able to get somebody. They'll be able to get a solid backup running back. And if not in free agency, they'll be able to draft one in like the 5th round. Or I don't think we have a 5th round pick, but the 6th round or the 4th round. But I think they'll address it in free agency. I think they'll get a cheap backup running back. And if I had to guess, I would say Gallman. I think Gallman's coming back. Chris, now looking at it, the Giants have a good shot at Golladay. I think they have a shot. I don't want to get people's hopes up, though. Why are you all playing with my emotions about Golladay? I don't want to get people's hopes up. I'm not going to be that guy that tells you that I think we're getting them. I don't want to get people's hopes up. But I do think there's a chance. I always thought he was going to be tagged. I do think there's a chance. I do think the Giants are going to show interest. Independent, man. Thank you very much, man. Hearing from a reliable source, if a team signs Leo away from us in free agency, we get 2 first-round compensatory picks. I'm preaching patience. Maybe we get lucky. That will not, and you're right. But that's always the case with the, I think the specific tag the Giants put on. That is accurate. That is a rule. It's not going to happen. It never does. That will not happen. No, because nobody's going to be willing to give up 2 first-round picks to sign him. So that will not happen. That's kind of why they put that rule so teams don't really sign them if you franchise tag them. But a tag and trade is a possibility, as well as the Giants rescinding the tag. But nobody's going to sign him to give up 2 first-round picks. But that is accurate. Carlo, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, any chance we can trade for Gilmore? New England got Mills. Yeah, a lot of people have been talking about that. There's been rumors for a while, and the Patriots have been wheeling and dealing. They've made trades. They've made signings. Possible. I mean, let's wait and see how the offseason plays out. It's why I say, it's why I said about Zeitler when the Giants cut him. Let's see what the plan is, guys. Let's see what the plan is, guys. Let's not go crazy. Let's see what the plan is, guys. There's so many options that the New York Giants could potentially do to fill out this roster. Is there a chance? Yeah, there's a chance. Is it likely? I don't know if it's likely, but there's a chance. J-Man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, drafting wide receiver is not a guaranteed savior. There's still a rookie. You can never assume just a rookie is going to have an impact, let alone be Jones' savior. You're right. You're absolutely right, J-Man J. And signing one's not a guarantee either. I agree that it's safer and it's more likely, but signing one's not a guarantee either. You don't know how his chemistry is going to be with Jones. It's a gamble. Just like Plaxico Burress was a gamble. Plaxico Burress paid off. But I would agree that he's safer than drafting a wide receiver. I'd agree with that. He's more of a known commodity. He's played at a Pro Bowl level. So I would agree with you on that. And Kelly, man, thank you very much, man. Look at Josina Anderson's tweet. Okay, hold on one second. Let me do that real quick. Josina Anderson. She said, just got off the phone with Lions wide receiver Kenny Golladay. He said, I'm being patient right now, enjoying the process. Big decision ahead. If I was him, I'd be enjoying the process too. He's probably getting recruited like a college recruiting team is throwing millions of dollars at him. And if I were him, I'd be enjoying the process. I'd be trying to get as much money as I possibly can. He's the best wide receiver on the open market. So I'm not surprised by that tweet at all. And I don't think he's rushing to sign. I think he wants to see who's out there and who's going to be willing to give him offers. And we'll see who ends up giving him the signing, man. Al, man, thank you very much, man. I think it's time to walk away from Leo, save the money. If he's demanding that, I agree with you. I'm not giving him $22 million. It's not happening. Carlo, man, thank you very much, man. Leo for Gilmore straight up. We'll see. We'll see, my man. We'll see. What I will say is this. If Leo is not willing to curb his demands, we're either going to rescind him or trade him. I can't see Gettleman and give him $22, $23 million. As much as people hate Gettleman, one thing that people hate him for is because he's stingy. because he's not willing to cave the demands of players in the past. Norman and Collins. Giants fans flipped out about Collins. Gettleman was right about that. Collins hasn't come close to living up to that contract. Of course, the people that hate Gettleman that probably wanted to sign Collins will never give him credit for that, but that was a great decision. And what I'll say right now is Gettleman ain't going to fold to this either. Gettleman is not going to give him $23 million. He's just not, in my opinion. So we'll see. Chris, thoughts on Judon signing? I think that he fits the scheme very well. I'm not in love with him as a player, but I think he's a guy that Belichick will be able to get the most out of. So he'll work there. $4 years, $80+ million. For who? I don't know what maybe that's just an assumption. Sherman, Peterson, or Butler, which vet cornerback? I would go with Butler. I think I'd go with Butler of those three. He's obviously got ties. I think I'd go with Butler of those three if you gave me a choice of those three. Can I say the stand up in my video? Yeah, of course. Stand up, ECK Sports. Well, hold on. People ask me to do this from time to time. I'd like William Jackson. William Jackson is probably my favorite corner available. Whoa, what is going on, football fans? Back at it with another New York Giants video. And in this video, we're going to talk about why the New York Giants haven't signed anybody. We're going to talk about why Kenny Golladay remains a free agent and why the New York Giants continue to sit on their hands and why Giants fans are punching themselves in the nuts and why they should call my official sponsor, Faruqi and Faruqi, personal injury lawyers, because right now Giants fans are really upset. J-Man, thank you very much, man. Would you bring OBJ back? No. Short answer for that, no. Everybody, seems to just be like obsessed with. Everybody seems to be obsessed with bringing OBJ back. Other than the fact that he's played a New York Giant uniform, what is the benefit to bringing OBJ back? Let's talk about it. And then I don't want to talk about it again. The guy's making like $17 or $16 million a year. The guy's coming off a major injury. We traded him away. Why would we want to bring him back? Why would you trade him when you could sign a wide receiver and pay him less than what he's making, who's younger, like a guy like Curtis Samuel, who doesn't have the injury history? You could draft a wide receiver at 11. Other than the fact that Odell Beckham played as a New York Giant on the contract that he's currently making, it makes no sense to trade for him. None. Independent man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, any sleeper free agencies you like? Nut punchers. There's a couple of corners. I don't know if they're considered sleepers at this point, but Jackson's a guy I've said that I'm interested in from the Bengals. Rhodes is an older corner I'd be interested in from the Bengals. In terms of sleeper edges, I'm trying to think back. I don't. In terms of like super duper sleepers, I really like Tyrell Williams, but he got signed before free agency started. That was a guy I would have been heavily interested in for a cheap price. That was a cheap wide receiver. I think in terms of the value, the guys that I'm really looking at are the corners. I think there's a number of corners that I'd be interested in because it's so flooded, and the guard position. But they're not really sleepers at this point. People know who they are, the guys that I'm interested in. Justin Houston, that was the guy I love. Yes, Scott. But I don't know if he's considered a sleeper. But if the Giants, I like Justin Houston. He's older. He'd be a shorter commitment. He's a guy that actually had a really good, I forgot what the win rate against the opposing blocker. He was like top 5 in the league. And he's still a productive player, and he would fit our scheme. Justin Houston I did like. That was an edge rusher I did like, who's probably cheaper than some of the guys that people are talking about because he's older, but he's still an effective player, and it would be a shorter contract. Good call, Justin Houston. He's like 35. I don't think he's 35, but it would be a short-term commitment. That's the thing. It's a 1-year deal. It's a 2-year deal. He's not a guy that's going to be a long-term answer. Chromo Cowboy, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, I want my Cowboys to sign Dalvin Tomlinson so bad. I want your Cowboys to not sign Dalvin Tomlinson so bad. That's the one that, I assume that Dalvin, good chance he's going to leave. If there's one place he better not go to, it's your team. I am praying Dalvin Dalvin, if you love the New York Giants like you say, Dalvin, if you're watching this stream, Dalvin, if you love the New York Giants like you say, I get it. It's business. You got to go out there and get your money. But there's a lot of teams that could use you, Dalvin. Sign on with anybody but the Dallas Cowboys. That's all I ask. Washington doesn't need you. Sign on with anybody but the Dallas Cowboys and enjoy your money. Please. McCourty's, I think, well, the problem with McCourty private is I think he's like 9,000 years old now. So and he's not near the player that he once was, so I think I'd pass on him. Let's see what we got here. How happy would you be if the Giants signing Juju? Not super happy. I'm not a big fan of Juju. And he's not the type of wide receiver we need. He's a slot. I'm not super happy. What's going on there? Jesse Bryan, man, thanks for popping in the stream, man. I think that if the Giants sign Golladay, it means they would plan like to trade down as there is not an obvious pick at 11. Well, there could be, Tyler. There could easily. We got to see how the draft board plays out. We don't know who they're in love with. They could be in love with Rashawn Slater if he's there. They could be in love with Patrick Surtain. You don't know. So it's hard. A report just came out that the Patriots will add a wide receiver by the end of the day. Would you draft Parsons if they get Golladay? I'd be open to it. I like if it checks out. You heard about the backstory. I don't know. I don't want that funny business on the Giants. And I'm sure the Giants players don't want that funny business. Imagine if you're a New York Giant player. Yeah. Oh, if it's true. Yeah, we just drafted Parsons. Yeah, he was the guy that was doing the funny thing with the men's butt cheeks. Yeah, we just took him in the first round. So if that is not accurate and it's nonsense, I love Micah Parsons as a fit for the New York Giants. Now, I don't want Micah Parsons playing with Giants players' butt cheeks, but did the Jets sign Golladay? I doubt it. Garrett ain't creative enough to get the most out of Juju. We're not getting Juju. We're not getting Juju. Chris, how much money do you think we can get out of a restructure of Nate Solder? I mean, like I've said all along, I would like it to be down to what his cut would be. If they get it down to that $10.5 million figure, that's great. And I think that's what they got to aim towards. Dylan, man, thank you very much. I tweeted you, by the way, Jamal Agnew to Jacksonville. Yeah, sorry, man. I'm not checking Twitter right now because I'm looking at the I'll be active on Twitter in a bit, though. But right now I'm looking at the chat. I'm going to go for another 25 minutes or so. And then I gotta call it because I got something to do at 4:30. But like I said, if anything huge breaks, I'll probably go live again before the Knicks game. And I'll be live tonight. Obviously, like I said, I'm going to be calling the Knicks game. It's a huge game. Knicks Nets. If it's a blowout, we'll probably talk Giants for the second half. Hopefully it's close. But there'll be halftime and stuff like that. We'll be able to talk about anything that may be going on in terms of free agency and things like that. Someone kill me. The Jets signed Golladay. Hold on. If the Jets signed Golladay, believe me, I'd be blown up on Twitter, but I'm going to look. Hold on. Let's go to Rappaport. I see nothing about Kenny Golladay and the Jets. But let me make sure. Kenny Golladay latest. Nothing. Cap. I'm hearing the Jets are in and Juju. Yeah, Juju's been my pick for the Jets for a while. I don't know why. I just feel like he's gonna end up there. I don't know. I just do. I really do. Nobody's been talking about Clowney. He's probably gonna cost under $10 million after the last 2 underwhelming seasons. Yeah. They're not talking about him for good reason. The guy hasn't been good, and he's injury prone. Irishman, thank you very much, man. If we do sign Golladay, who do we take at 11? best available player on our board, really. But who would I take? Now, what I would do and what the Giants might do might be completely different. Like last year to me, it was so obvious we were taking a tackle. Like I was like 95% sure going into the draft after we didn't address tackle in free agency, we were taking a tackle. I just wasn't sure which tackle it was going to be. No matter what happens this offseason, I am not going to be close to 95% what the Giants are going to do in the first round of this year's draft. For the simple reason, one, we're picking at 11. So we don't know who's going to be there. At 4, you have a much clearer picture of what's going to be there, right? Last year at number 4, we knew that more than likely we were going to have one of the first players off the board that wasn't a quarterback. And we knew that the Giants needed a tackle. This year at 11, you don't know who's going to drop. We're picking much deeper. But what would I want? I like I said earlier, man, if one of the top 2 tackles are there, I think long and hard about it. And if not that, I'm looking on the defensive side of the football. I personally would not double up at the wide receiver position. Could they? Yeah. If they felt like whoever was there is far and away the best player on their board, they could. But I'm looking at a guy like Parsons if he doesn't do the funny business. I'm looking at a guy like Surtain or Rashawn Slater. I think those are your most likely candidates if we sign Kenny Golladay. What's going on there, Jake? Man, thanks for popping in the stream, my man. What's going on there, Donovan? He says cap 100% during free agency. That's for, you're gonna get a lot of caps. You're gonna feel like you're in the lids. NFL rumor says Golladay will choose between the Jags and Giants. Giants are more attractive than the Jags. NFL rumors is pretty credible to me, but I don't know. You guys are getting me excited. You guys are getting me excited, and I don't like to be excited because usually what happens when I get excited, I get my heart broken. You guys are getting me excited. Let's see what happens. Mike, man, thank you very much, man. Giants move up for Chase, best wide receiver on a rookie deal. I don't think that we're going to move up for anybody in this year's draft. But if Chase is there, as I've said numerous times, if Chase is there, like I've said numerous times, I am going to run up to the stage and make sure that they draft him. I think Jamar Chase is far and away the best wide receiver in this year's draft class. But I don't expect us to trade up. We don't have any. We only have 6 picks. I don't think we're going to trade up. And usually you only trade up early in the draft if it's for a quarterback. Usually. Once in a while you'll see wide receivers, but usually quarterback. Independent man, thank you so much, man. Why do the Giants love Ingram? Trade bait. Yeah, first off, it's not smart business. It's not smart business to ever talk poorly about your players if you're a general manager or head coach, because like you said, it ruins your trade value and it ruins the obviously the makeup of the team. So I don't ever expect Joe Judge to come out and publicly bash Evan Ingram. The same goes for Dave Gettleman. They're going to support their players. That doesn't mean that they're not thinking about other things potentially. Odell Beckham. All you got to do is go back to that. We didn't sign him to trade him. And people bash Gettleman for that. That's the smartest thing you could do. And I'm not necessarily saying the trade, but to present that you have no intentions to trade them. If you come out and say, oh, this guy sucks, we got to trade this guy, that only kills his trade value. So I don't expect the GM and the head coach of the New York Giants to come out and bash Evan Ingram. It doesn't mean that they wouldn't trade him if the right deal presented itself. Sacred man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, sorry if this has been mentioned already, but what would you think of targeting Cordell Patterson? It is not, and I'm surprised it is not. Duggan describes him as the ultimate Judge guy, and he is. Super versatile, coached him in New England, would immediately help the special teams. Is he a guy that's going to be a big-time contributor as a starting wide receiver? No. He's a versatile guy. He's a guy that plays some running back. He can do a number of things. He's an interesting guy. He's kind of like a poor man's Curtis Samuel, but it would instantly help in the special teams. And yeah, if it's a cheap guy later in the process, yeah, I'd definitely be interested in Cordell Patterson. Yeah, I would. He's not going to solve all of our problems, but yeah, he could be a savvy signing. And Duran, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Ask Jerry Rice to lend some stickum to Ingram. He needs super glue. He needs whatever, man. He needs magnets. He needs to put a little metal piece on the ball and put magnets on his hand. He needs something, Duran, to help him out. How much would you pay William Jackson? $7 million. That I don't want to exceed that $6 or $7 million range at the cornerback position because I think they're going to have a plethora of options. So 7, something like that. One of the mods, please send me the message to Tana, but the Giants do have the Maritish credit card to use. Source. Or okay. What's going on, Arjun? He's gonna go to the Jags. If he goes to the Jags, God bless him. God bless him. I don't know why the Jags would spend the premium at the wide receiver, to be honest with you. They've already got good wide receivers. I don't know why they would spend the premium at the wide receiver. They have a lot more problems on that team. Nikki, man, thank you very much, man. What do you think is Getty's sell pitch to the New York Giants versus Jacksonville? Well, what I'll tell you is this, Nikki, if that's accurate, which who knows if it is, but if it's accurate, and those are the two teams that are bidding for him right now, my sales pitch, I don't know. I don't know Jacksonville's offense. I don't know I don't know it well enough. I don't know their scheme. Obviously, what Jacksonville has to sell them on is, I don't know if the Giants, first off, are the Giants more attractive? Let's be honest with ourselves. The Jaguars are getting Trevor Lawrence. That's a big sales pitch. You go to the table and say, listen, we're getting the quarterback that's been talked about for the last 10 years. You know, the most talked about quarterback for the last 10 years since Andrew Luck. He'd be the guy throwing you footballs. So, is it more attractive? But what my sales pitch would be, they've traded DJ Chark. Really? Stand up, new member. Thank you very much, man. And Hitman, thank you very much for the $2 donation. I appreciate it. But what my sales pitch would be to Kenny Golladay, it's simple. You fit this offense perfectly. You literally fit. You were born to play in this scheme. We run an Eric Oriel scheme. We want to take deep shots down the field. We need a tall threat. You were near tops in the league in yards per catch a year ago. You averaged 18.1 yards. We know what you bring to the table. You're going to be a big play guy. That's what we need. That's what we're looking for. You're going to get pelleted with targets. You're going to have your opportunity to put up numbers here. And in this offense, with getting Saquon Barkley back, we believe if we get a receiver of your ability, you're going to be able to put this offense over the top. And you already see what we got on defense. If you believe you're a true number one, you fit the scheme beautifully, you come on over here. The New York Giants are going to be something to contend with. That would be my sales pitch. But are we a more attractive destination than Jacksonville? I mean, if you take your Giants fan hat off, they've got Trevor Lawrence. That's pretty attractive. And J-Man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it, man. He says, you a Knicks fan? I thought you liked you. I'm a diehard Knicks fan. I love Patrick Ewing. When did I say I didn't like Patrick Ewing? I love Patrick Ewing. I say it consistently all the time. Patrick Ewing is the most underappreciated New York athlete in my lifetime. I love Patrick Ewing. Literally the most underappreciated athlete in my lifetime in New York sports. Patrick Ewing. Hamza, man, thank you very much, man. Players also care about the city and life and New York market. No, I agree. You could sell them on that as well. The endorsements, this, that, the other thing. I agree. March Madness bracket. I have not filled out my March Madness bracket, but I will when I get an opportunity. Obviously, I've been really busy today, and I'm gonna be calling the Knicks game tonight. Ryan, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, "Hey there, sport. Cheerio." Oh, let me. I got the water, Ryan. I got the Hudson. Let me pull in a fish for you. Hold on. Oh, I think I got Golladay. On the line. Oh, let me reel him in. I got Moby Dick on the line. I got Golladay. Thank you very much, Ryan, man. I appreciate it, man. And Brett, man, thank you very much, man. I really appreciate it. And he says, would you take a chance on Bud Dupree? No, I'm not super in love with Bud Dupree. I'm not. Coming off the injury, I'm not super in love with Bud Dupree. What's going on there, Afghanistan, man? Thanks for popping in. Independence says, that's just a boot, Chris. Blue Collar, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, hey, Dana, who are the top 3 players that have been tagged that you think will either be traded or tag rescinded? I got to think about the tags. I mean, obviously, I think Leonard Williams is up there. What's his name? You know what? Let me look. Actually, Allen Robinson was tagged. Let me look at the you have the safety from Denver was tagged. Let me look at the list real quick. Tag players 2021. You got Marcus May, the tackle from Carolina was tagged. Justin Simmons is the safety. Godwin, he's not getting traded. Cam Robinson and Allen Robinson. That's what I see. In terms of the most likely to be traded, I mean, I'd have to go with Leonard Williams, Allen Robinson, and maybe Justin Simmons. I think I'd go with those three. Obviously, Godwin's competing for a Super Bowl. He's not getting traded. I would go with those three. I'd go in terms of probability. Leonard Williams, Allen Robinson, and Justin Simmons. That would be my order. And but Blue Collar Man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Simmons I think he got tagged for the second straight year. And Tyler, man, thank you very much, man. I saw an Instagram post of the Jags signing Jamal Agnew. Yeah, somebody said that. And the Lions jersey in the post made me panic that it was Golladay. Giants fans are going to explode one way or the other when the news comes out about Golladay. They're gonna explode one way or the other. And Matt, man, thank you very much, man. Besides the injury history of Golladay, are there any other concerns you would have adding him as our wide receiver one? Yeah, and I don't, let me look. Obviously, I know he missed time last year, but from what I heard, he could have probably came back and played, but he was kind of resting himself in a year in which they were going nowhere after he got hurt. He played a full 16 games the year before. He played 15 games the year before that. He's going to be 28. So, yeah, obviously the injuries are always a bit of a concern, especially because he got hurt last year. But outside of that, I mean, the one knock that people have on Golladay that I'm not as concerned with as other people is the separation. People say he doesn't have great separation skills, but when you're a guy like him, you don't expect 6'4", 6'5" wide receivers to have great separation. You expect them to be guys that could go up and catch the 50-50. They create separation from their height. I think he's a very good wide receiver. In terms of him performing, I don't have many concerns. I think he'd be a very good wide receiver for the New York Giants. Am I telling you he's DeAndre Hopkins? No. Am I telling you he's Antonio Brown when Antonio Brown was Antonio Brown? No. But do I think he could be a very good wide receiver and would be a very good wide receiver? Yes. Do I think he would fit the scheme? Yes. Is he the exact type of wide receiver I think we could use? Yes. We struggled mightily in the red zone. We were the 31st best team in the red zone. Daniel Jones couldn't score once he got inside the 20. That's what Golladay would bring. The guy led the league in touchdowns 2 years ago. So, no, I think he's a good fit. What are your thoughts on A.J. Green? No thanks. A.J. Green is like 9,000 years old. No thanks. I'll pass. I don't want A.J. Green. He's a name. God, I want Kenny Golladay more than anything. Fellow Giants fans, join me in prayer. Yeah, he's not. I don't think he's as good as Evans, but yes, he's a similar type of wide receiver. Let's see what we got here. Carmelo Anthony signed with the Giants. There you go. There's a good pickup. No, Carmelo Anthony forced a trade to the Giants, and the Giants traded away their last 4 first-round picks. That's what happened. Chris, man, what do you think about Rashawn Slater? I like him. I like him a lot, and he's a guy that you can move over to the guard spot, even if you feel like Parrott's your guy. And he's a guy I'm open to, especially if we sign a guy like Kenny Golladay. Zig, man, thank you very much, man. Take the tag off Williams and sign Tomlinson and Sherman. So you want to get a corner? If I was going to get a corner, I mean, Sherman personally wouldn't be my first choice, but I could see them going that route, signing Tomlinson, shoring up your defense. You get your biggest deficiency right now, which I agree with, is a corner. A veteran to plug that hole until such time you draft a better one in a future draft. And you bring back Tomlinson. If they let Leonard go, I agree they'll bring back Tomlinson. Somebody said, do you want Super Bowl rings? Do you want Super Bowl rings or just a player with no history? I don't know what that's in reference to. Maybe he's talking to somebody in the chat, or maybe he's talking to me. I don't know what that's in reference to. But my goal all the time is Super Bowl rings. That's all I care about. That's all I care about as a Giants fan. That's why I don't want them to jump the gun, because it's the same thing with the Knicks. I just care about championships. Yeah, like Knicks fans that say, "Oh, go out and trade for Bradley Beal." No, I don't want the 4th seed. I don't want to be better and just not be able to build on the future and trade away my whole future just to get knocked out in the second round. No, same thing with the Giants. I don't want to take shortcuts. I want to build this up right. I want to have sustained success. I don't want to take shortcuts. So, yeah, it's always about Super Bowls for me, man. If we get Golladay, do we draft defense at 11 or grab another wide receiver? It depends on where we rank them. It depends on who we feel is the best available player. But what it does, like I say all the time, is it gives us the opportunity to take who we feel is the best available player. Check what I tagged you on Twitter. Okay. I'll try my best. I get a lot of messages on Twitter. Let's see. Quarterback market looking good too. I don't know if that's you. Somebody tagged me on that about what Adam Schefter said about. I already knew about Jalen Mills, if that's what you're referring to. I see that. That's really what I see. I don't really see anybody else who tagged me, so maybe that's what you're referring to. And the quarterback market does look good. You also had the guy that signed Barrett with the Niners that was like $5 or $6 million. That's the problem with today's Youngers fan. All you care about is the championships. I'm not frozen. I'm trying to think about that statement. I'm not frozen. It's a problem to only care about winning championships? What? Dylan, man, thank you very much, man. Rudy Ford, Jags, 2 years worth $4 million. Big Hooper. Oh, there's another small signing. That's a problem. What? As Herm Edwards says, you play to win the game. Do you think I give a shit over who makes the Pro Bowl, over who has 1,200 yards, over a 7-9 season, over getting knocked out in the wild card round? I don't care about it minor success. No. I say it all the time. Whose career would I rather have? Not who's the better quarterback, but whose career would I rather have? Eli Manning or Dan Marino? I take Eli Manning every freaking time. Because as a competitor, as an athlete, and as a fan, you take the Super Bowls. You don't take the individual statistics. Of course I want championships. What the hell else do you watch for? What's up there, Jake, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, my man. And John, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, I'd let Williams walk. My gut is telling me it's going to be a bad mistake to re-sign him long-term. Dalvin, to me, is more valuable. I actually think Williams, personally, I think Leonard Williams is more valuable. But he's only more valuable to a certain point. He has a price point that I would not be willing to exceed. And then he said, why are you watching the Knicks tonight? Why am I watching the Knicks tonight? Because it's about the journey. Just because I know they can't win a championship this year doesn't mean it's not about seeing steady progression and seeing them improve as a team. Same thing with the Giants. Why do I watch the Giants? Because it's about progression. It's about the journey. It's about seeing this team improve. It's about seeing this team build. But ultimately, I'm not about taking shortcuts for short-term success to see the team win a few more games the following year if it's going to hurt the future and the build of the team. It's about championships. It's about building towards a championship. It's not about taking shortcuts to hurt your future success to get a couple more wins in the immediate present. That's my point. Let's see what we got here. I'll go for another 10 minutes. I got a meeting at 4:30. What do you think about the prospect of Leonard Floyd? His coverage and pass rush skills are really improved. I'm open to him. I like Leonard Floyd. If it's not breaking the bank. And Stephen Lilly, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, hiya, more important, why waste time with silly? What's going on there, Stephen Lilly? I have fun sometimes. You gotta have fun sometimes. Lily from across the pond, what's going on, my man? Thanks for popping in the stream, my man. Gerard Davis signs with the Jets. There you go. There's a Jet signing. There you go. 1 year, $7 million. What the blank is this? It might be a minor signing for you guys. You guys may go out and still get your big fish. So Jets starting to get active for you. And Chicago, man, thank you very much, man. He says, the goal is to win championships. I'm surrounded by Bears fans who are still living in 1985. At least we have owners who try to win on a consistent basis. Yeah, it's always to win championships. That's always the goal. It's just a matter of what's the better way of going about doing it, you know? Yep. Just saw it, Michael, man. Thanks for letting me know, my man. Go to Saquon's Twitter and look at his likes. Look at his likes? Why? Pertaining to what? What do you mean his likes? Go to Saquon's Twitter. What do you mean? Things he's liked? Just tell me, because I'm not gonna be able to fit. I don't know Twitter well enough to be able to figure out what things he's liked. So just tell me. Just tell me what he's liked. NFL Rumors says it's between the. Yeah, I heard. I don't know how credible NFL Rumors is. I know that they got like 30,000 followers, but anybody could post rumors. What do they? He like Golladay to the Giants? Don't do this to me. Don't do that. Don't get me excited. Don't get me excited, NFL Rumors. Don't get me excited, Saquon Barkley. Don't break my heart. Don't break Giants fans' hearts. If it's gonna happen, happen. But don't get Giants fans pumped up. It better happen because they are gonna come fuming if it does not. What's up there, PJ, man? Thanks for popping in the stream. No, I'm not saying you. I'm saying Saquon. Don't get our hopes up. Like, make sure it happens. And Tyler, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, I know the gamble would be massive, but a trade for Beal could attract a free agent like Kawhi. It's a big gamble. But yes, if it attracts Kawhi, yes. But I don't think it will. I think Kawhi's an LA guy. He grew up in LA. I don't think it will. But yes, of course, if you knew Kawhi was going to come here, you make the trade. But he's an LA guy. Maybe, but I don't see him in New York. And I really like RJ Barrett, man. I don't want to trade RJ Barrett. And I think you'd have to trade RJ Barrett to get Bradley Beal. No, I believe you guys. I believe you guys that he liked it. I just don't want to get disappointed. I don't want Giants fans to get their hopes up and then it comes crashing down. So I'm excited for the possibility because I know Giants fans would be super excited if we ended up getting Kenny Golladay. But let's see, man. Let's see. Let's wait and see. Chris, I DM Golladay. My kind words will win him over. There you go. Everybody in the chat, DM Golladay. Just say, yeah, we'd like to see you in a Giants uniform. And Simon, man, thank you very much, man. Jag signed wide receiver act. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. Are we the favorites for Kenny? We might be. We might be. Saquon retweeted it. We might be. I don't want to get excited. I don't want to get excited. We might be. Oh, we'll find out. We'll find out, my man. We'll find out, my man. Independent, man, you have a good one, my man. Thank you so much for being here, buddy. It might happen. It might happen. We'll see. Chris, any big chance Dalvin comes to New York? I would love him back. I think there's a chance. There's definitely a chance. But if we sign Golladay and Leonard stays and we don't rescind the tag, I would say no chance. But yeah, I think there's a chance. No, I believe you guys. I believe you guys. What's up, Malik, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, my man. Saquon watching the stream. Yeah, I think Saquon's trying to troll us. Saquon's in here. Saquon, if you're in here, I love you. You're my favorite Giant. And buddy, come on the channel. Saquon, I'd love to talk Giants with you, my man. But no, Saquon, if you're watching, you're going to have a killer year this year. I can't wait to see you out there on the football field. James, man, thank you very much, man. 1K watching, 600 likes. Come on. Smash the like button. I appreciate it, James, man. Thank you for all the support. I feel bad that I'm going to have to leave you guys. But like I said, if anything major happens, as soon as I'm done, I'm going to be right back on the channel. We're going to talk about it. If anything major happens, and I'll be live tonight. Knicks versus the Nets. I do all the Knicks games, and it's a huge game tonight. I'm really looking forward to it. So I got to do the play-by-play. but I'm sure we're going to mix in NFL conversation throughout the stream, especially if there's things going on. So looking forward to it. Looking forward to watching the game. Looking forward to talking more offseason football. This is the most exciting 3 days of the offseason, outside of the draft, of course, leading up into the draft. So we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens, man. And Tyler says, LOL, if we spam Golladay, it might piss him off. I appreciate it, man. I know Saquon retweeted. We'll see, man. We'll see, man. And Simon says, F Leo, sign Kenny and Dalvin, trade Leo, get a stud edge. We'll see, man. I just want to know what's going to happen. I just want to know what's going to happen. Shah says Faruqi and Faruqi. Well, that is actually who the meeting is with. The official sponsor of the channel. Give them another quick plug. I am meeting with them, and we're going to talk about some really cool things we're going to do on the channel for the members. Shah, this month, I'm going to talk about it today, but this month we're going to be giving away a signed Eli Manning football for one of you guys. So super excited about that. But yeah, that is who the meeting is with. I don't think it's going to be that long. So like I said, if something major happens, I'll got to get something to eat, get a little mac and cheese in my system, whatever it may be, and we'll be back and we'll be talking about it. Manny, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. If Saquon is watching, he better drop a huge super chat. Manny says, what's going on, the Don Dada, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, my man. Oh, I thought you were meeting with Kenny. No. We're meeting with you, Zany. You got $76 million, you told me. I'm meeting with you. Everybody's saying Golladay. Golladay was spotted in... Guys, you're killing me. You guys are killing me. Is this accurate? All right, who is saying that Kenny Golladay was spotted in Teterboro Airport? Who is saying that? Who is saying that? Stand up. What's going on? Abatoba, man. Thanks for popping in the stream. That's fake news. It's fake news. Okay, it was fake news. It was fake news. It was fake news. It was fake news. Don't get me excited. Don't get me excited. Don't get me excited. Don't get me excited. Fake news. Okay. But he did have a meeting with the Giants, so he should be in a Giants airport. I would guess, as far as the meetings go, I would guess that it would be over Zoom. In today's climate, with everything going on, I would imagine it'd be over Zoom. I don't think they'd meet in person. Simon, man, thank you very much, man. Watch Dave overpay Leo because he loves his fat boys. I don't think he's going to. I mean, he may overpay him a bit, but I don't think he's going to give him the report that came out yesterday. I really don't. Michael, man, thank you very much, man. Man, I'm going to miss Drew in a Saints uniform. Yeah, but it was the right thing to do. It was time to hang it up, man. You saw what how he looked in that playoff game. Joe Thuney to the Chiefs. Joe Thuney to the Chiefs. Really? Makes sense. They got rid of 2 tackles. He's a guard. I think they're still going to draft a tackle, but that makes sense. Makes sense. That's a big signing. Obviously, you're going to need some hogs for Patrick Mahomes, so makes sense. And Justin, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, thank you for being you. Thank you for thanking me for thanking you. Thank you for being a great supporter of the channel, man. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you to everybody for being here. And that sucks for Jet fans. Giants were never going to get him, but that sucks for Jet fans. Jets were in on him. But we'll see. Chris, do you think we'll still draft a wide receiver in the 2nd or 3rd round if we get Golladay? I mean, yes. I don't know if it'll be the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, but yes, I think we'll draft another wide receiver even if we get Kenny Golladay. Yes. That's a good signing by the Chiefs, man. They need another offensive lineman. And the Lions suck so much that they offered their best player $18 million, and he turned it down to go to another team for less. Lions fans could screw off, Dylan says. Rest in peace, Jet fans. BJ Boogie. Yeah, Jets are pissed, man. Jets are pissed. Giants have officially signed Michael Strahan, 6 years, $110 million. He was offered $18 million, but wow. But now we don't know what the guarantees were. We don't know if it was a 1-year deal. We don't know all that, but wow. Jets fans on suicide watch. Hey, man, we know how they feel. We've missed out on plenty of players over the last few off seasons. We've missed out on plenty of players. What's your predictions for the Giants free agency? Ask me that in a day, because right now I actually think we are in play for Kenny Golladay. I'm not going to get your hopes up. I'm not going to tell you we're getting him, but I think we're in play for Kenny Golladay. So I have obviously different ideas of whether or not we get Kenny Golladay or we don't. If we don't get Golladay, I think we're going to get a corner. I think we're going to get a guard. I think we're going to fill in multiple holes on this team. If we get Golladay, obviously that's going to chew up a lot of cap space. So we'll see what ends up with Golladay, man. I don't think Galladay's going to sign today. He's gonna have multiple offers, but we're definitely interested. Do you think we will sign Leonard? I hope, but I hope it's for a fair deal. I do think Leonard Williams is very important for this team, but I hope it's for a fair deal. I don't want to give him an absurd amount of money, but we'll see. I'll go another 5 minutes, and then I got to close it out because I do got to grab a little something to eat. And then I got to have the meeting. But like I said, I will absolutely do this tomorrow. All right, let me ask the chat. I know what you're going to say. But let me ask the chat. And if anything big drops, I'm going to be live for it again today. But let me ask the chat. You want to do this again tomorrow? If you want to do this again tomorrow, let me know in the chat. You want to do this again tomorrow? Obviously, if there's anything dropping, if there's any rumors dropping, you guys want to do this again tomorrow? We'll do a hangout during the day. You want to do this again tomorrow? We're doing it again tomorrow then. We're doing it again tomorrow. Same time, same place. We'll go live around 1 o'clock. There you go. We'll go live around 1 o'clock for a couple of hours. But looking forward to it. What's going on, Giants Girl in Florida? What's going on there, Drip? What's going on there, Pact? And Stephen Lilly, man, thank you very much. Breaking news, the Eagles signed. And Dylan says, he went to the Chiefs. 5 years, $80 million. I'll go cry in a corner. Wow, that's a big contract. $16 million a year. Breaking news, the Eagles signed Ronald McDonald. He's an improvement, to be honest with you. He's an improvement. He's better than their quarterback they got now. So it might not be the worst of signings there for the Eagles. So it looks like we got a lot of yeses. So it looks like we're going to do this again tomorrow. Like I said tonight, I got to do the next game. But if anything big drops, we'll talk about it during the stream. And if there's any rumors that are circulating, we'll talk about it during the stream. So I'll be live I think the game's at 8. So I'll be live at like 7:55 for that. Pre-game, I'm going to talk some Knicks, talk some Nets. And I'm going to do the play-by-play. But if halftime, pre-game, post-game, if there's anything big, the other thing I'll say, if anything big happens tonight, which I don't know if it will or won't, but if anything big happens tonight, I'll be live all night. Like, I'm going to do the Knicks game, and then when the Knicks game's over, I'll stay on and we'll talk about it. So we'll see what happens, man. I'm excited, man. I want to know what's going to happen for the future of this team. And OGR says, Tana, what's good, my man? Loving the stream. OGR is the man. Glad to see Jeff. Jeff is a great guy. I got to meet him. I'm looking forward to getting to meet him again when we do one of these meetups for a Giant game. I hope he's able to come. Miss him on YouTube, but OGR is the man. Glad to see you, buddy. And Pete, man, thank you very much, man. At Tom Myers, New York on Twitter. I think that's a fake account. I think that's a fake. Pete, I think that's I'll look it up, but I think that's a fake account. Be careful what you believe on Twitter. But I'll take a quick look. I think that's a fake account. Tom Myers. Maybe he's real. He's got 10 followers. To me, who was the infamous fake account last year? Oh yeah, Bill Goldrich. Where's Goldrich? Remember last year, everybody in the chat was saying Bill Goldrich. He broke news about, I think it was Jadeveon Clowney, and everybody rushed to him. The guy had like 40 followers, and he got like 1,000 likes on one of his tweets. Where's Bill Goldrich? Anybody seen Bill Goldrich? Anybody seen him? But he's the most reliable Giants reporter ever. Fishing says. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Guys, I am going to close this out. I had so much fun doing this stream with you. I love doing this. Big Daddy, what's going on, my man? I love doing this. We'll talk a lot more tonight. Like I said, during the Knicks game, I'm sure there may be more stuff that happens. We'll talk more about it tonight. And like I said, if Kenny Golladay gets signed to the Giants, I'll be live. But if not, I'll be live tonight for the Knicks game. We'll talk about it, at halftime, anything that may be going around in the NFL. Obviously, the next couple of days are going to be big stuff is going to be dropping. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I'll be live again tomorrow. We'll be doing it again tomorrow. Thank you guys for all the support you guys always show on the channel. Hopefully you guys enjoy free agency. If you're a Nets fan, we're going to kick your ass tonight. We're going to kick your ass tonight. No, we're not, but I'm hoping we do. Thank you guys for being here. You guys are the best. Have a great rest of your day. Be good, everybody.